Do you miss playing Dungeons & Dragons, or just have a hard time finding a group in your hometown? Maybe you just wish you could play more. On Discord, we created a community of over 100 people who are playing D&D around the clock. By integrating Discord and D&D Beyond, we're able to provide an immersive experience that is the first of its kind. You can create a character from 1st to 15th level, and then roleplay 24/7 in our Discord channels while combating monsters, crafting weapons, training new skills, and searching for items across our campaign world. You'll also have the chance to participate in random combat encounters and go on monthly virtual quests. Ever wanted to try your hand at being a dungeon master? Or maybe you're an experienced dungeon master and just want the chance to run more adventures. As a community DM, you can run encounters and virtual quests for the community based on monthly modules written by our very own accomplished plot team. Join us.
Join us.
Check it out. Join the Discord.
Join us.
Join us.
And let's create incredible stories together.
Is the money really worth all this?
It's not about the credits. I've been looking forward to this for a long time.
I bet you have.
You're not getting the drop on the villains with sounds like that. Your game needs Sirenscape. The Sirenscape online player has a huge library of epic sounds for any situation. Epic games need epic sound. Go to Sirenscape.com to get started today.
It is said that the ancient Forge Masters would infuse a part of their souls into their creations, imbuing courage, strength, and grace with each strike of the hammer. But somewhere, deep in a dwarven hall, the last of the Forge Masters is hard at work.
Thing about using Shard Tabletop for this game was how accessible everything is and how everything is just at a glance. I do a lot of work with like accessibility, especially for disabled and neurodivergent people in the TTRPG community. And so as somebody with a learning disability who really struggles with like math and numbers, having all of it just like right there on the page, readily accessible, it was so nice because I get really scared when I have to like do the math part of D&D. And so having Shard there, being able to like look at all my spells and like remember everything and like just have it all at a glance was like the best thing.
Wastes of Chaos, the latest sourcebook from Kobold Press, gives you everything you need to create hard-hitting adventures in devastated lands far from civilization. From powerful new players options to ghastly villains and twisted locations. And with the Tales from the Wastes companion book, you'll get adventures uncovering the ruins of a world that was. Back Wastes of Chaos on Kickstarter today and bring Full Metal Havoc to your campaign.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of Tales of the Worcestershire. The
Rascally West.
The worst west of the wastes. Anyways, thank you.
Broke him already.
We are almost halfway through our adventure, and it's been so fun so far, and it's going to be so fun moving forward. Want to get through announcements real quick, a couple big ones, and then we will absolutely move into the action. First, of course, want to thank Dungeons & Dragons for creating this awesome game that we know and we love and we play. Thank you, D&D. And, of course, to our main title sponsor, Cowgirl Press. We need a kobold sound.
It's cool.
Yeah, Cowgirl calls.
Okay, from now on, 4 more episodes to get that right. It is, they just released Waste of Chaos on Kickstarter. It is a guide for creating your own wasteland in your own setting. It is 5e compatible as usual, but also agnostic, so you can use it for your own systems. It's more of a guide for building a world rather than an actual rule set. So it's not necessarily tied to any specific rule set. And the Kickstarter funded it in an hour when it launched, which is super awesome. It really did.
We're hitting stretch goals like a mofo.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's so good. So check it out. It is an awesome book, and it's allowed me to do this. I used it to create this world along with Teddy, my co-writer. So thank you. Shard Tabletop has an incredible virtual tabletop system. We are using it here. There's so many features, including onboard note-taking and some really awesome stuff that you'll see on screen that you saw a lot of last session, including, of course, all the usual VTT stuff, so they'll be able to put tokens on maps and all that. But just super easy to use, too, which is incredibly important for anybody to jump and use it. And, of course, most importantly, they have Kobold Press content for this Kickstarter specifically, and you can see how they're partnered on Kickstarter today. Hero Forge, woo! Been with us a really long time. They have a system, a website for creating custom miniatures in color, so you can use them as avatars and character art. You can even like party people together and put like multiple players. It's really super cool. Awesome, and we used that to 3D print the characters and the minis that we have on the table. Of course, Jesse Jerdak took that responsibility from me. Took that responsibility from me to help me out this time around, and did a fantastic job painting them in a very short amount of time to excellent detail. So thank you so much for doing that. And that was us downloading an STL from HeroForge.com, which is only $8 per character, which is amazing, and then 3D printing it himself and then painting it. But you can also order them fully color printed, which are really awesome, and we use those actually for Incubus. So thank you, Hero Forge, of course. Big shout out to Forged Gaming, another sponsor of ours. They are creating custom dice trays and dice. The dice trays are like bedrolls or scroll cases that you roll out and store your dice in there. And then we have these really awesome rustic sort of gold dice.
They're so shiny.
Yeah, they are very shiny. They're awesome. So, yeah, really, really awesome. Thank you so much, Forged, of course, for always being around. I will say, too, now that if anybody's watched the episode, the campaign long enough to get to this episode, a little nugget is this you may see at some point soon. This DM screen that I have and that I'm using is new to some people. I think we did use it during Incubus, but it is a prototype for an upcoming product that we helped Forged Gaming design. And so, yeah, so stay tuned for that. That will be coming at some point in the next number of months. But I'm so excited for it. It's a really, really awesome concept, and we're very, very pumped to be involved in that. I want to thank Teddy, Benson, and Game Conclave. They just said bear hugs for Teddy, just in case. But because I just heard and I was like, I know what you're saying, and I still didn't understand it. But he has a company called Game Conclave. They create custom GM content and online content for TTRPGs, and he is very involved in the tabletop RPG space. An incredible heart, an incredible human, and has also provided us this incredible cabin up in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Georgia. Georgia. And it is so super awesome, and it's, I mean, what an amazing place to play in. because it is so rustic and wonderful. I wish you
can
could
they
all
see
see.
out behind you?
They can. They can see behind you, and they can see what the decor is like. But the whole place is like this. It is
It's
honestly
so
my
crazy.
dream cabin, my dream
Yeah,
cottage,
there's a little creek.
and there's
no, I'm sorry. There's a creek.
There's a creek.
Down there. Yeah.
Yeah, and it rushes, and we maybe heard a bear and maybe a bobcat.
It wasn't a maybe.
No,
we
we
heard
heard
that
that bear.
We heard that bear.
I saw a snake.
Oh yeah, we
day
saw a
one.
snake.
With
on
a
day
little
one.
rattler on it.
And we saw hummingbirds yesterday. They came by to eat lunch
so
with
good.
us.
Every day.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So yes, thank you, of course, to Teddy and Game Conclave for that. And then, of course, we're using Sirenscape for all of our sounds, including the music that you hear. I've loaded that music into Sirenscape, and I'm controlling it using that platform. And then all the sound effects, including the pigs and the horses and cows and all that stuff moving forward, we all use.
Oh, I thought that was just
Sirenscape
your
for that.
Foley work, Jason.
No, it was not.
It's so well done.
It was not. The rest of the housekeeping announcements, of course, Incubus every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And that is, of course, our tattoo artists in the real world, very renowned, awesome, incredible artists, playing tattoo artists in D&D across the world of Eberron. We have, of course, a Discord, a Patreon. You can check it out at patreon.com/RealmSmith. You will get early access to the after show called Shootouts and Shoutouts, which is really awesome and insightful, and I've really enjoyed doing them.
too.
And I'm glad that we have. And those drop the evening of the show, both for Incubus and for this show, and then you can watch them publicly on Sundays if you want to wait a couple days. But if you want early access to it, because it's really super insightful, then you can do that through becoming a patron. A couple events coming up. D&D in the Castle is coming up for me very, very soon. And Alexander was already there. It's such an incredible experience and such an awesome opportunity. So check that out, because there are many rounds coming and going. That was the cutest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Noticed. It was fine.
It was a stifled sneeze, and I'm going to point it out now and put a spotlight on the sneeze. And D3 at Sea, which is an amazing TTRPG cruise. We play D&D on the high seas. In wonderful places in the Caribbean or the Caribbean, however you choose to say that. And we've gone to amazing places, Mexico and Honduras and all those wonderful places.
Yes, it's been awesome.
It's been really, really amazing. So check that out. November 13th is the next one. And then we've also announced and released registration for our spring 2023 cruise, which is happening in April.
Yep.
Thank you to our Smith Guardians, who are the backbone of everything that RealmSmith does. They are our leadership team. They hold down the fort and steer the ship when I am here playing games with people, and it is so wonderful and awesome, and I'm eternally grateful to them.
Shout out to Jimmy, Joe, Darby, Brittany, and Jeremy.
Yes, and to CB, who is one of our admins and is so committed to our community amidst everything that he has going, which means a lot to me. Personally. And then Realm Watchers, of course, are moderators and the people who take care of our people and make sure that everybody's safe, both on stream and in Discord. And if you like what you see tonight, please consider subscribing and sharing and doing all that wonderful stuff. We want people to experience not only what we have, but also what Kobold Press has released and this awesome content that we have. Without further ado, let us venture into the wastes.
Yay.
right. Last we left you all, it was a quite tumultuous combat experience. You met members of what is fairly obvious, the Ever-Living Gang, or the Ever-Living Bandits, and you dealt with them accordingly, with some potential, I wouldn't say losses, but it came pretty close. I know that some of you are feeling it right now, but you have now, the dust settled, somewhat.
I was about to say the dust never totally settled.
Obviously, Sully was having a moment when then challenged by Shiv. Currently, we're having a bit of a standoff. What do you do?
Talk.
Without looking at you, because I'm still paying attention to the bandit I'm providing medical care, there's just a Shiv, don't be a silly Billy. Put that down, we'll have a chat.
Give me one good reason. You've heard him. You've seen him.
Yeah,
You've
and
heard
I
that.
know him. And he's not who you think he is. So put it down and we'll have a chat. Let's get this guy in a cell.
Why'd you heal him?
Because I want to talk to him. It's very difficult to talk to him when he's got no pulse.
He doesn't deserve to live.
He's going to get hung tomorrow.
He doesn't deserve a home.
I kind of agree with them on that one.
Yeah, but that's not our decision to make. This isn't our town. This isn't our jurisdiction. We are not the law.
I am the law.
I get that, but not here you're not.
You're telling me that you're not with them.
There is a faceless form that looks up at you, notices the gun, is not pressed about the gun, looks back at you. You think I'm with these people who took everything from me?
I don't know anything else but what I've seen. And what I've seen and heard is you have connection with them, and you seem to have the same, or at least similar, potential as them. Capabilities, powers, whatever it is that you are.
Mr. Smith stands up, sort of wiping his hands slightly clean of blood, and just making no hostile motions, just steps in front, directly in line of fire, and just goes, "Look, it's fine, I get it, but just because he can do what they can do doesn't make him one. Look, you've got a gun, it doesn't make you a bandit, all right?
It's not just about what he can do, it's what they've said.
As I said, cooler heads will prevail. Let's sit down, have a cup of tea, and have a chat.
I'll have a sit down, but the gun stays more pointed.
If I wanted that gun destroyed, I'd destroy it before you can even blink.
Yes, yeah.
Put the gun down
We're
before
all-
this smoke goes up yo.
We've all got great big todgers, all right? Okay, let's move on.
You give me one inkling that this is going to go in any other direction.
And what will you do?
What I have to.
You can try. They tried, and look what came of me. I'm not alive because of them. Everything I own and love is gone because of them. Make whatever assumptions you need, but I will get what's rightfully mine. And if you get in my way, or you, I'll show you why the hell I'm a sheriff.
Well, you had something to say?
Look, let's put this guy in a cell. I get it. Just breathe, all right?
As you say that, you watch as ash floats in your view, and you look down as the individual who is sitting on the ground begins to disintegrate.
Oh, balls.
And the arrow that was in its throat falls and clatters to the ground. And it says, and written on the ground in blood, it says, "See you soon."
Care to explain that?
There's a moment where he just looks at the writing, sees the edge of the smoke that's leaving, and he floats back, and actually, he's been hovering this entire time. He actually sits, knees on the ground, and then starting from the bottom of his feet, you start to see the color return, the actual leather of the shoes and the spurs, the pants, the skin that he has, all kind of retracts back into just the only thing that's ethereal is his left eye. They're called the ever-living bandit for a reason.
Right. I figure that, yes. But what is the connection, if you care to explain? I understand revenge. I understand it very intimately. But what I don't understand is how you have what you have and what they have. And
I don't understand it either. When you're in a shootout, and there's bullets raining upon you as you try to protect your town, and the final bullet goes through the eye that you've been watching them wreak havoc through. And then a time later you find yourself busting out of a grave. You don't ask questions. I took the unfortunate position I was in, and I flipped it for a profit. If they thought they could take me out, obviously they were wrong. And as I speak, there's almost like smoke coming out of my mouth. But this, and as I say this, the gun floats in front of my face, gave me a new purpose. And that purpose is to do what I need to do. To take down what took everything from me.
And how do you tie into all of this?
He's with me.
Just happened to meet him like a little puppy.
And what would that make you? And the rest of them, especially
The
that
one
big
that
puppy.
decided to put his gun up when they were putting their guns down. What makes you any different?
Not so different, I guess.
Yeah. Look, we've all done things we might not be entirely proud of because, you know, it's rough out there. But he's not what you think he is. He's not one of them. So, make sure everybody else is fine and not bleeding out with a gut shot in the street.
Tell you what, if you say what you say is your purpose, and that's to get all these bandits, as long as that purpose remains the same, I can live with that.
All right. Go and check on the others.
Do I have to?
Yeah. Make sure Weasley's all right.
And then you see him before he walks out. He comes up to Sheriff and he goes, "The gun wasn't meant particularly for you, but what I thought you represented, I hope you know that."
And a bullet doesn't have allegiance.
True words. And I walk past him and as I walk out, I'm like, where the hell am I supposed to even go? I don't know where they're at.
Go and find them.
And I walk off.
As Shiv leaves, Sully is able to see just a little bit of tension drop out of Mr. Smith's shoulders, and from held behind his arm, the poignard drops into his hand and then gets put away.
And I'll just look over at Mr. Smith, and there's just a wordless conversation, even if it's one-sided, saying thank you. Because you are the only one who knows how far I can go.
Okay.
The rest of you, did you run after him? You all did,
I think
right?
the two of us did, yeah.
Okay. So we'll go there first. So the streets are still empty. But now that it's been quiet, people are kind of starting to poke their heads out. And so as you kind of run down the street, kicking up all the dust, people are like looking out to see exactly what potentially has gone on.
And that's very noticeable?
Yeah, I can't remember if you left directly after when he took off.
No, I imagine there was like because you bolted out before the combat was actually complete, so.
And how long after would you say, seconds-wise?
Uh,
How many rounds? Were we in combat at that point?
Mm-hmm. We were right at the end.
Yeah, I think
so we had ended combat?
That one guy left, I think.
Okay. I would say that as you come out, you probably see him at the end by the cemetery.
Yeah.
Starting to kind of turn that corner. And you see, because you see a trail of dust, that he has left Roadrunner style.
Yeah. Leader goes, nothing to see here. Everything's fine. Go back to what you were doing.
Sure. And by this point, and after that whole exchange, I'd say that you all are kind of already around the corner in tent downs, and he is not visible.
And I'm trying to just keep your pace. He looked really upset.
Nexus is quite literally leaving a trail of breadcrumbs from the town hall.
Yes.
Because her mindset is like, we've already been separated, and so she's trying to be like, how do I tell my friends where we are? So she's literally just like taking pieces of scone, and then she like very like, but like, and they're like, if you measured it, they would be like to the millimeter, placed exactly like down.
Then I would say Nexus is still over in front of wait, no, you are gone unless you're waiting for Nexus to place this breadcrumb trail.
Oh, okay, great, yeah.
So I would say that you're at the mouth of the 10 towns.
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
And then Nexus is halfway up in front of the inn, yeah.
Oh, breadcrumbs. Wait, this, so fast.
And Nexus will sort of like call ahead to Wheeler, and she'll say, we should take caution. Archie seemed very upset, but I think right now he could use a friend.
Well, it's a good thing he's got two of them.
Yeah, and so I'm just gonna keep heading this way.
Wheeler's probably a little nervous, like.
Are you waiting for Nexus at this point, or are you gonna rush ahead?
Yeah, I'll wait for Nexus, only because,
Sure.
But he waits really nervously because he knows we're going to the mines.
Yeah.
And he's kind of excited, but he's also scared for his friend. But like, it's kind of
Yeah,
Sure.
there's also a moment like right when Nexus gets to like right here, where like even Nexus realizes that Wheeler's like really excited, and so Nexus takes like a really long time like just to like troll Wheeler a little bit. Just like, and then she kind of like looks at Wheeler and like winks a little bit, and they like we'll just like walk.
Love it.
Yeah.
And 10 towns obviously is some of them seem undisturbed by what's going on and the gunshots and so on. Some of them you can see them kind of inside their tents as they don't have a lot of protection if things go really, really badly, but are kind of looking out as you kind of walk through. But it's obviously quieter than the last time you were here. As you start to approach and enter, you can tell that the ground begins to change dramatically in texture. That it turns into kind of like almost like a gravel that you would maybe see at a quarry of sorts as you start to approach. And there is debris from the mine, like a broken wheelbarrow that's really, really old, and timbers that are lined up against the side, and old rusted spikes and chains and hooks kind of all along spread out as if it was abandoned a long time ago, and these things have just been sitting here for that time. And typically things that aren't usable by the tent townsfolk for adding to their decor. You walk maybe 100 feet from the mouth of this quarry area, and you can see that there is also that kind of cliff that leads is, I'd say, at least 20 feet up at its deepest.
Okay.
Because that kind of the rise in ground is north of that, so it raises and it ramps up, and the mine is straight
Yeah.
So they've kind of dug out, the
I was going to
area,
say, does it
the
look
side of a
like
hill.
this is not a natural piece? They dug this area out to make this mine? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
They must have found an entrance or a cave, and they started to dig until it was there, and then.
At its, just out of curiosity, at its base, like as it starts to slope and it stops and it rests, how
20 feet
20
at
feet?
its deepest.
Okay.
Yeah. And as you approach the entrance or the mouth of this mine, there are timbers that have been placed in front of it, kind of haphazardly, not haphazardly, but affixed to the frame that still exists in the mouth of the cave that is holding it open. And it says danger and do not enter and a bunch of warnings around. But you can see that there is kind of a space at the bottom open. There's spaces everywhere, but the biggest space is kind of at the bottom, and you can see how it's dug in a little bit. There's a bit of an impression of someone who is kind of buried through to make it a bit bigger so that they could get in.
Yeah, as we get close, you can tell there's like, it's like walking up on a mansion. The first time somebody sees like a house that's just extraordinary, we're just like,
Wow, I really love the decor. This is.
And he's just ready to explode, but he's also concerned for his friends.
Nexus will look at Wheeler and say, as we enter the mine, please exercise caution. I am aware of your enthusiasm for mines, but mines can be very dangerous places. Perhaps we should stick together.
Okay.
He thinks about it. He thinks about it really hard and recognizes.
I don't disagree. Okay.
And I might even if you let me loop your belt loop or something, so I'm not lost.
And then Nexus will kind of look down again at Wheeler and say, "Is it rude to enter a mine without knocking?"
Well, there's not a door. We've been through this once before. We said you just poke your head in, right?
Yeah, so Nexus will do that, but it, because it's so low to the ground, Nexus almost, bends in half and just kind of goes, all the way around, so she can, stick her head in, and she'll just kind of say, "Archie?"
Go away.
But we came all the way here to see your awesome house.
It's mine.
It is yours. It's very cool. Did you do this? All of these signs?
No, I found them. Go away.
We still got treats.
Yeah, I think we've got a lot.
There's a lot.
There's at least 3 gold of treats.
We have 5 gold worth of.
Yeah, I think Nexus will reach into her pocket and she'll pull out a donut and just kind of put it in the dugout area. So you see this just mechanical hand glint in the darkness with a sprinkled donut, and just put it in the thing. And she'll say, "Archie, it is all right. You can come out if you would like."
Y'all can come in.
Wheeler's up. As soon as he invites me in, no question.
When you get in, we'll drive on this a little bit.
Sure.
You see some kind of ramshackle, makeshift furniture, old chairs that were clearly discarded.
And so let me just say that the how far in would your you
said it's about 50 feet, right?
It's 50 feet until it's caved in.
So I'm thinking it's one big room, right?
Yeah, it's a tunnel that kind of goes around. It's got timbers top and bottom. You hear some distant drips because you are close to the lake, so there is some moisture that is coming through and filling it. And it's a winding path to 50 feet and then it stops.
Right.
So it's not a big open room. It's like a tunnel that's about, I say 5 to 10 feet at its most narrow and maybe 15 feet at its biggest.
Yeah. Okay. It's not a huge space, just a kind of a single space. So there's some just discarded tables and chairs. He's got the spool, the tool, actual spool.
Yeah.
And you'll see a lot of crates on just up against one wall, and where there's a leak in the ceiling, you can see it's been channeled into these crates. And you can hear the sounds of animals, but the leak in the ceiling is like a water drip into these little crates. And you can see what are clearly like stolen paint buckets and like hand paintings on the walls over the years, and they just look like the townsfolk. But if you look close, you'll see like a couple of little bear ears in the background, like looking. But it's almost like you can see every townsfolk.
Yeah.
Like all of them, like with precision. Like he's like, well, he keeps track of who's in town, and he's watching over them just in the background. And then on the top of the cave, you see stars.
We look at. Wow! This is beautiful!
Thank you.
Did you do all of this?
Myself. It looks like a bear drew it. It's not.
It's a masterpiece. And the stars?
Yeah, that's
And
stars are important.
Nexus will look up at the stars and she'll look at Archie and she's like, they are all exactly correct.
Thank you. I drew them like I see them.
Archie, why did you run away?
Now you all saw that I wasn't just a bear. I was a monster too.
The only monsters I saw were the ones trying to kill us.
No, those are just fellers, I think. I don't know. One of them turned into
nasty fellers.
Yeah, one of them tasted worse than normal fellers.
There's all that evil in him.
That's what that tastes
like.
And he's like, he's kind of like poking through the cages. He's meticulously like taking little bits of like pastries and putting them in places. You see, like he clearly like pickpocketed some of the meat from this morning and puts it in another one. You hear like some like clattering and scraping up against the stolen wood of the crates.
Are these your babies?
These are my babies, and I gotta look after them. They need me.
Well, what do they look like?
I'll show them to you.
Oh.
My list. All right.
Oh, we have a baby list.
Yeah, I gotta make a list. This one's Slim, and you see like a furious looking rattlesnake. Like just does not want to be in its. It's Slim. Be careful. He bites. And this is Ringo, and it's a big red beetle. Look careful. He bites too. And this is Rex. And it's this big horny toad. He's like, careful, he bites. This is Penelope. She don't bite, but you don't want to pet her too often. It's just a big blue mushroom. Looks very poisonous. And, this is Mr. Pinche, and it's like a 20-pound scorpion. And it like grabs his hand, and he's like, oh, easy. Just pinches the end of the tail. He's like, and he hands him a piece of the stolen meat from the previous morning. This is Juniper. Ain't she the purtiest? It's a bush.
Yeah. Okay.
And this is Jarmathy, and it's just a big stone. And this is the rabbit, and it's an armadillo. And there's my babies, and I gotta take care of them, look after them. And these are all creatures that are, some of them are not creatures.
Well, it seems that you have quite the menagerie.
No, they're babies.
Right. Nursery.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Are you injured?
Oh, no, I'm all right. I get shot at sometimes.
Hey, me too.
That's terrible.
Well, I can't change other people's hate.
Yeah, me either.
So, you wanna come back to town? I'll hold your hand.
What about, they see how I really am now.
Good. Cause it's perfect and beautiful, like your rattlesnake there,
yes,
or your rabbit armadillo. They're all unique and different and beautiful.
They are beautiful.
So what makes you different than that kind of beauty?
I'm bigger.
Which means there's just more to love. That's what Grandpappy used to say about his belly.
Well, if I go back to town, who's gonna take care of that big old Scorpio over there?
Well, in my village, animals tend to care for each other. And you've done them all a great favor by bringing them together and making them friends and family.
Family.
So if you, let them go together, they can take care of each other.
Oh.
So that you can go find more babies to bring together and make strong, loving families.
Oh my God.
That's a good idea.
Oh no.
Nexus will raise her hands and she'll say, "If I may, my father always says that the lessons we learn from each other are the lessons that are the most valuable. Archie, you said that you showed your true self. What I saw is someone who is brave and kind and protects his friends. And if your babies have learned anything from their father, like I have learned from my father, they are brave and kind as well."
They are very brave. Ain't not one of them afraid of me in the least.
Nexus, very seriously sizes up Archie and says, "I do not think you are very scary."
I think you're a little scary. So you think they need to go on an adventure?
Yeah. What do you say? Let's let the family go free.
All right. I'll begin taking them very carefully out of each cage. I'm going to start with Mr. Pinche. He's the fastest one. And I try and grab him by his tail. Oh, no, not that part. That's the worst part. And I take him outside and I give him a big old kiss. You got to look after the others. You're the strongest. I just methodically, one by one, take him outside. We give him a big old kiss, except for Penelope, the mushroom. You don't kiss her. I learned that the hard way. Everybody else gets a kiss, though. And Jarmathy, he's a failure to launch. I'll tell you, I just keep pushing him and he just sticks around.
He just seems stubborn.
Yeah,
That's the rock.
He needs a lot of help. And I'm just trying to roll him on down the road a little bit. He'll get going in his own time. And Juniper, you look after him. All right.
What was the name of the armadillo?
The rabbit.
The rabbit.
Is armadillo.
All right. And it's a baby armadillo. So it's it fits in two hands, regular human hands.
Okay.
So in his hand, it's like...
It's like...
It's a little guy.
It's like this.
Like a pocket-sized rabbit.
And you put the rabbit down, and the rabbit kind of stops, and it kind of looks up and kind of up at you and everybody, and it kind of walks over to your foot and sits down on your foot.
Oh, the rabbit wants to go.
Well, yeah. It doesn't take up much room.
No, he's a little bitty guy. I put him in my bear pocket.
Oh, wait. With the mat there, it might be a little full. So let me help you out.
I got you something. And I start going through my pockets and I find kind of this long strip. I wouldn't call it rope. It's more like kind of a narrow kind of canvas. And I loop it, wrap it, and tie it. And I sling it over your shoulder and I make you a Bjorn for your baby or for the rabbit.
For the rabbit.
Yeah, that's. I'm gonna get that confused.
And just see, now he's go with us.
All right, we gotta keep him safe because he's a little feller.
But I understand that, the rabbit.
Just peeking out at you.
So, would you like to go back to town?
All right, but if them folk throw rocks at me.
Look, if they throw rocks at you,
I will kill them.
Okay, that's a bit far. If they throw rocks at you,
I will kill them.
You don't have to stay here. You are not obligated to them.
And I point to your drawings on the wall.
You can be and go wherever you want, just like your babies. Free yourself.
Yeah. Maybe.
That being said, can lick your rocks over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Careful, don't lick Penelope.
Yeah, no, I heard Penelope's a bit of a wild child. The collapse.
Yeah.
At the end.
Yeah.
Wedler goes over and he listens to the rock, and he smells a little bit and he licks it. Was this a accidental collapse, or was this a purposeful shut-in of this mine?
Investigation check.
Since I'm a prospector, is there any way I
Yes.
might do a little bit extra?
Yep.
Extra.
That would be a 16.
Okay. With a 16, it looks like a accidental collapse. It looks like just age gave out. You can see some timbers actually are crushed under the boulders that
Gotcha.
have fallen in, and so over time it just.
Those silly humans. No idea how to build a proper mine for safety regulations. OSHA would have a fit.
Who's OSHA?
The outlaw... the outlaw sheriff... The outlaw safety... OSH... home...
It's my home.
Yep. Association.
Oh, Safety Home Association.
Yeah.
Well, it does get a mind drafty. I should call them. Should I return?
Yeah, upon return, you might want to call them and just have them come check out the actual structural integrity of this here cave. Because I'm just telling you that and who puts a beam there like that? And why didn't they just... If only they had a Wedler.
I got a Wedler.
Yeah, you do. Hold my hand.
It is nice and squishy.
All right, back at the town hall. As you kind of walk out from the back room, and that back room, just now that the intensity has lifted a little bit and everyone is relaxing a little bit more, you notice it's a storage space behind there. And there are some locked kind of cabinets and bookshelves, and this is maybe a file room, record room, and various doodads and knickknacks and so on. And as you walk back into the main hall area again, you notice that the half-orc body is still there. You notice a couple of people kind of looking in the door, but you notice that the mayor's gone and Clint is gone. And that is how you find it.
I don't think I'd be, because I was tasked to find them.
Yeah.
I would have, at this point, probably, would have noticed that as I leave? Or...
You had said you walk out,
Yes.
and so as you walk into the hall, that's what you see.
Got it.
The big hall with the dais in the middle.
As I walk out, I just yell back, I don't know where he is, but maybe we need to go find the potentially dead sheriff. Mayor.
Go find Wedler.
On it! And as I walk out, would I be able to see those breadcrumbs still there?
Yeah. Give me, as you walk out and you start to kind of look around and figure it out, give me a survival check.
Okay. 18.
18, okay. Yes, you see a very clear, every two perfectly placed breadcrumbs on the ground.
Yeah, you just hear him go, "Oh, Nexus, you beautiful person," and just walk and follow that to the cave or to where it leads.
Yeah, and like there's a couple birds who have like landed and are eating the breadcrumbs and like along the way. Yeah.
Do you want me to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
And as I follow them, I'm assuming they're still inside the cave. Right before they see me enter the cave, you just go.
Well,
go.
so yeah, so the time that it takes to get there, and you all had a bit of a thing. So, I would say, are you all leaving the cave at this point?
Yeah, I think the plan was to go back into town to check.
Okay.
To check. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you would meet at that corner. You're all coming out of the cave. You're approaching that area, and you all kind of meet at the.
One thing.
Yes.
As Archie and Wedler leave the cave, Nexus is gonna like linger like for a second, and she's gonna kneel down next to the juniper bush, and like they don't see this, but Nexus is going to take like just like a really tiny piece of like leaf and root off, and like very carefully like wrap it in a thing and put it in her pocket.
Okay.
And just but like try not to like be like she's like tying her shoe or something.
And then before they turn the corner, they just probably hear Shiv suddenly scream, "Holy shit, that's a scorpion! Oh god, oh god!" And then and you just hear like bang, bang, bang. No! Damn it, I missed.
He's like, no, that's the baby!
Like,
as I round the corner.
What?
Put it away.
No, I'm just.
It's a harmless baby.
Yes, I was talking about the other.
Yeah,
what I thought looked like a deadly creature, but not your babies.
Yeah, dark breadcrumbs.
Oh yes, I mistook your bread. It was a tiny thing, and I tried to shoot it. What
are you doing here? We were headed back. Where's the sheriff?
I came to go look for you. Why did you just suddenly vanished?
We had some housekeeping to attend to.
Okay. Well. Oh hey, I love your spikes.
Oh, yeah.
Are you still spiked? Sorry.
No, as he chills out, they kind of just recede back in.
Okay. But yeah, he's just like, well, they're looking for you. Probably need to do a little cleanup. Don't know if the sheriff is alive or dead. Not our sheriff, sorry. I meant the mayor sheriff.
Not Sheriff Sully.
Not Sully.
You see Wheeler there's like a moment where he actually might panic a little bit.
And then you suddenly go,
well, technically, Wheeler.
And then he comes back and he's like, but no, they're fine.
Let's not stand on ceremony.
Well, right.
All right.
Oh, that was easy.
Back at the record room.
In the moments after Shiv has left and there's been a callback, Mr. Smith walks over to Sully, gets close, but doesn't make physical contact, and just looks you directly in the eyes and goes, "Didn't work out this time. Don't worry. We'll do it next time, all right?"
You see, like, while you're looking at me in the eye, that gun is still floating there, not pointing at anything. It's kind of just like in games when the idle item's just floating.
Yeah.
It's kind of just floating. And he'll sigh, and the gun will float down and resituate itself in his holster. Next time.
Yeah. Come on. Let's go and check on the kids. Make sure they're okay.
Hold on. He'll get up, like, almost dust himself off, but you can't really tell if he's touching himself or it's more of the idea of, like, cleaning himself off. How are you doing?
I've been better, but I'm more concerned for them. You know, I'd like to get out of town. You know I don't like it in these places.
Let's not.
And he adjusts the hat, and it's clearly he's uncomfortable with the way it's sitting on his head, and he's just adjusts it ever so slightly.
Yeah, we'll get out as soon as we can. We don't need to stay here too long. If Clint and the sheriff mayor have this place situated and don't need our help, then we don't need to stay. We need to head up and look into this Tweedler mess anyway.
I didn't get a chance to say, on the plus side, I don't think Clint is going to be the problem that I initially thought he was going to be.
It might be a problem in a different way,
But I don't think he's going to come for us in our sleep.
Well,
Which is at least something.
that's good.
Right.
Yes.
Let's go and patch him up.
Let's keep what happened low-key.
That's my middle name.
A part of me knows it's not, but for a second I actually thought it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on. You and me against the world. Let's go.
Yeah. And he'll get up and look at the blood once more, but then just starts to step on it, and like there's still a level of like recoil And instead, the mage hand just starts to wipe it all away, so it's not so obvious. And you'll follow suit.
All right. You all walk.
He starts to follow suit, but there's clearly even it's metaphysical. He's hurt, so it's kind of.
Can we make it back to the town hall?
Yeah. By this point, after this conversation.
Okay.
I would say, though, that as you are turning the corner, the streets are starting to fill a bit more. Business is kind of going back to normal a little bit. So apparently
the cows are back out.
Yeah, the cows are back out. Everybody's still good. And business begins to pick up. You start to hear the dings of the blacksmith shop. And, I mean, these frontier towns tend to have issues like this. As soon as everybody knew it was safe, everything's been settled. As you're passing the barber shop, you do notice some, not yelling, but elevated voices inside. And you do see that there is drips and splotches of blood leading into that space. And the door is slightly ajar. Whether you decide to stop or not is up to you.
Is there a window? Can I peek in the window?
Yeah, and you peek in the window. And through the window, you see a typical barbershop, like a long space, long counter with 3 different wash basins and the chairs on the pedestals with the little levers, all kind of along the side with one big mirror. But that's all you see in this space. But you do, as you get closer, you hear some elevated
Can I make out what they're saying?
Perception check.
Ooh. Okay. That's not so great. That would only be an 11.
You do hear, you don't hear what they're saying specifically, but you get the emotion of, not anxiety, but, what's the word I'm looking for? I just blanked.
That's all right.
Duress?
Yeah, some duress, but just anxiousness.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it's like a heightened, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know about you, but I don't want to go in there.
You said you don't?
I don't, regarding the the sound, the noises, the upset, the snakes.
Well,
I got
problem
snakes
then.
in there. You like me.
I do.
Pull a cube of salted meat from this morning.
Speaking of, but hear me out. If that's the sheriff,
and I gesture to the trail of blood, because we know.
That means nobody's at town hall.
Right.
We can go sleep in their beds.
Really close to what I was thinking.
There are so many layers to that comment.
There are,
Now we know how many beds you've slept in town while people were out.
Dang it.
Just finding the right, perfect one for him.
Close. We can go search their beds. I don't trust this sheriff. What did we call him? The mayor.
The mayor.
Yeah, I don't trust the mayor. I don't know why. It's that gut instinct. It could also be this morning's breakfast. But I think we should catch up to them while they're away and see if we can't.
All right, let's go see our fellers.
Yeah, I bet they got bottles.
Yeah.
Okay, so you head back to the town hall?
Yeah.
Okay.
And as we come around the corner and come into the area, and we said the half-orc is still there, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to search for any notes, anything that would just give some clues to where they came from, where they might be going, just anything. I know he wasn't the leader, but since he's the only one with a form still, just anything.
Okay. Well, you find the weapons, as is expected. On the half-orc, you find another 10 rounds of ammunition for his repeater rifle. You find his rifle. You find a pouch with the equivalent of 25 gold. And you also, and that's it, other than, actually that's it, and a knife. And more of like a utility hunting knife.
Okay. I will consider holding the rifle, but I don't think I do. However, I will take the ammo. I'll take the pouch for sure. I'm not really concerned about the knife. But I will just look at that orc for a second, shake his head, look back at Smith, and start to head out. And I assume as soon as I get to the door, there's a goblin barreling towards.
Yeah. As soon as you get to the outside door, you see them coming up the road.
Oh.
Everybody inside, go, quick.
Found them.
Okay.
I'm like trying to push all of us kind of back inside, close the door really secretly.
Where's the sheriff?
Precisely. It doesn't matter.
No, it does matter. Hence my question.
Oh, well, the blood trails probably stays back there.
Getting a haircut is my presumption.
Yeah.
We believe he is at the barber shop.
Oh, they're all right. He's going to come back with no feet and a terrible haircut. They're not
Well, that
rubbish.
is his problem. I'd like to search his desk.
Okay. All right, so you go over to the registration desk.
Yeah, wherever
desk
he usually sits, whatever looks like the
yeah.
business. Wedler wants to see what he's up to.
Sure.
And Nexus will look at Mr. Smith and, as a means of explanation, say, Wedler believes that the mayor is hiding secrets, and Archie would like to sleep in his bed.
Right. Mr. Smith ignores that for a second and is looking appraisingly at each of you. It's clear that some of you are carrying wounds, but none of you appear to be in mortal danger.
Pristine condition.
I mean, I can see.
Yeah, like Sully is just
looking
leaking smoke.
Yeah. Right.
Sully, you're leaking smoke.
You lot do that. I'm going to go and have a check on the sheriff. All right. Anything we can do to curry favour with the locals. All right. And to be honest, I wouldn't trust them to give him the proper care he needs. All right. And also, I can delay him.
Okay, yes,
Okay.
be a distraction. You're bait. Kind of.
Yeah. All right. You do this.
Yeah.
I'll do that. Where was he? In a
Barber shop.
barber's.
Straight
down the street on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Three,
okay.
4 down.
The one with the twirly thing.
I will keep him delayed as long as I can.
Go get him, Mr. Bait.
I start turning this. There was a combat in here, so Wedler just starts turning this place upside down because it doesn't matter. He wants to find baubles, and he wants to find anything. He just starts digging through the sheriff's stuff.
Okay. You go into the desk, give me an investigation check, please.
Please be good. Oh, that would be a 21.
Nice.
Very nice. What are the rest of you doing while...
Is there a bed?
Is there a bed? Not visible in this space, but there is stairs leading up to a door.
I would like to find it.
Okay. All right. So it's funny because the one time you had an opportunity to sleep in a bed, you slept on the floor. That's the best part. So you watch as
it's a power thing.
Yeah, I love it. You watch as Archie starts to kind of like lumber and creak up
the stairs.
Yeah, one at a time. The rest of you?
Nexus is gonna sort of like look at Wheeler, just like ransacking the place, and say, she's gonna like kind of just look and say, I am going to go outside and keep watch because I feel like if caught, this could cause problems. I will let you know if anyone approaches.
Yes, a lookout. So smart.
And Nexus will just go like sit on the porch and just kind of like just that, like on the stairs.
Sentry mode.
And as you do that, you again watch that everything's kind of gotten back to normal. People are starting to cross.
Every single person who walks by, she says, "Hello, I am Nexus."
And some of them respond and say hello, and that continues a while until they kind of turn around and they walk the other way. Some of them ignore it.
I think that she would just, the first thing he does is the one the one bandit body that we have. He just goes and pulls down his collar to look at his neck, pulls it back up, and then takes the ammo that, you said you left the ammo.
I took the ammo, did not
Oh, you
take
did
the
take it. Oh, you did not take the rifle. Okay. I take the rifle.
Okay.
Are you sure you can carry that under your jacket with everything else that's under there?
Well, least I could do is sell it for profit.
Oh, smart.
Smart. I'm like, papers are flying and it's like digging.
Yeah.
I'm like, Sully.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be okay?
Yeah, I'll be fine. Get used to it on the job.
Should I do? How do we plug your holes? Your smoking ones, I mean.
Yeah.
You're leaking.
Time.
Yeah.
Sure you'll be alright?
I've survived a lot worse than this.
You know, I didn't know that you are.
Sure it is.
It is very cool. You can pass through walls.
Well said.
Yeah, I mean, we all have things. Like I just have an affinity for fire.
Yeah, from the sky.
Yeah, you know, if it helps on the job, then that's that.
So I know we've not known each other long or anything like that. And I know we're you're teaching me how to be polite, but I would like to ask you a personal question.
You can tell that there is just like contemplation. And he looks at the door to where Cornelius left. Been left with the kids again. And I will just plop down onto a seat.
You seemed really upset. Maybe because you know these or knew the ashy bandits?
You know, there's just always a case that eludes you. These folk have been a problem. A pain in my metaphorical buttocks for quite some time.
Were you always smoky and blue?
That's a recent development.
Did they do that to you?
Can't say yes or no to that.
Okay. I just needed to know if I needed to go like burn down their camp or something. But okay.
Burning down that camp will probably happen at some point, but I can't. For all intents and purposes, no.
Do you know why they don't die?
Also, no. But this land is filled with things we don't understand. Filled with entities and concepts, chaos in its purest form.
That's true.
If I was a bandit group, I'd find ways to extend my warranty.
Do you think that's, oh, they have a name. Do you think that's the ever-living bandits?
It's the ever-living bandits, yeah.
Well, they're on horseback. So, they couldn't have been too far from here because horses only make it so far in the wasteland. And they have to be near water. And if they're not watering here, they're going to be nearest the next waterhole, so they can't be too far off.
Well, I assume... Well, actually, most of them dusted away, so... can't really follow tracks specifically, but I would say that they'd have to stop at certain points to make sure their animal companions are well sated. We all should. This isn't the place we need to stay.
No, absolutely. This whole conversation, I'm just digging through stuff.
I'm curious, does Wheeler know what he's looking for?
No, probably something shiny, keys.
I'm looking for what, the claws. Clauses. Are there any clauses in here that look like their claws?
Like clauses, like actual claws?
Like the contract that they signed.
That's hilarious.
Important paperwork.
Yes.
We found out, right? Not Clive. What's his name? Clint. Oh, not Clint. He was hired by the mayor. He told us that he was hired to what?
To figure
Look
out what's
into
happening.
the dead mayor, the kind of dead
Well,
mayor.
Nexus will call from like out on the porch because Wheeler's so loud that Nexus can just hear this entire conversation. She'll kind of turn around and say,
Clint did assist us in this fight. I think Clint is probably a friend.
I agree. I'm just saying, just because I want to know what the deal is. He said he hired him to look into this, but Clint, he showed up out of the spinning coin. How much work is he really doing?
Perhaps we should also look at maybe some sort of a ledger, because if the fact that the old mayor owed them money.
Numbers. I look for paper with numbers on it.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so what did you get with your investigation check?
21.
Okay. All right, with the 21, you find a number of paperwork. So lots of ledgers, lots of like checks and balances. It's a mix of mayoral stuff and kind of so financial sort of mayoral stuff and also sheriff sort of stuff. Nothing of note here, it being the registration desk.
Yeah.
There's like a list of people in town, that sort of thing. But as you pull out the drawer and you kind of look around, you realize that there's a false back on the drawer. And in the drawer, bauble-wise, before we get to false back, bauble-wise, you find a spool of thread.
Yeah.
You find what appears to be some sort of claw, an actual claw. That's hilarious that you said that. And it maybe a bear claw or something, you're not quite sure. But some sort of large...
Somebody's gonna die if they took
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You do find some ammunition in the desk.
I'll just pass that
and
off.
that'll be like 5 rounds of ammunition.
Okay.
For a rifle or a pistol?
Either. So the repeater is the gauge, not the gauge.
They should have said
the caliber of the rounds are the same for repeaters as they are for revolvers.
Great.
Good enough.
And so you find that, and then the rest is like paper, pens, typical kind of admin stuff.
Yeah. Okay, great.
You find the false back on the drawer, and you pull the drawer out, and there's like a little latch that allows you to pull it out even further. It's just like a piece of wood across the back of the drawer. And in the back, you find what appears to be a leather journal of some sorts, and it's kind of wrapped in leather twine.
Wheeler's like digging and making noise and scuttering something. He goes, ha! Ha! Tricky, Mr. Sheriff! And I pull it open and I held the book up high. Found it.
What is it?
I don't know, but I do know that folks in towns tend to put important stuff in hidden books.
Nexus will call again from the porch. I may be of assistance in examining the book.
I would suggest we take it and then we get out of town.
Perhaps maybe not actually take it, or I believe. And then we saw...
Oh, that's right. You can scribe, can't you?
But we don't... Do we know that? Did we know that? Okay, I just wanted to...
I don't know if you guys know it, but like I think if Nexus knows that there's a book, like Nexus, Nexus will like wander
Okay,
back
you know what? Wheeler will go,
You're right. I can't read this anyways, but I found it, and I was like, trade me. I'll keep watch. I'm inconspicuous.
Yeah. So inconspicuous. Yeah, so Nexus will come in, and she'll grab the book from Wheeler, and just that whole thing. And then do you want me to roll for reading quickly? A reading check, because I do have a feature of an expert researcher.
Ooh.
Sure. What is that? What does that give you?
It just says if you spend an hour studying the available books, I can do stuff with intelligence checks, but I don't feel like it's going to take me an hour to read this book.
No. It's about half full, and it's like a 50-page journal.
Okay.
So it's like 25 pages of notes.
Yeah.
He hasn't been mayor that long.
Okay.
Even though he's been the sheriff for longer than that.
6 times 25. 150 seconds.
150, yeah.
So 2 minutes and 30 seconds of doing this.
Yeah.
Per each casting of scribe, which is 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So, no, I'm going to say with scribe, you're able to get it.
quickly.
Yeah.
Figuring out what the information is, if it's cryptic, maybe will require a check. But being able to read it and understand it and take it in doesn't require a check.
Okay.
As you start to do that, you start to gain a bunch of information about the town, which we're going to find out after we come back from
Look at that.
So we will be right back to find out what is in the mayor's journal.
Nice.
Secrets.
Yes.
Lies.
Do you miss playing Dungeons & Dragons, or just have a hard time finding a group in your hometown? Maybe you just wish you could play more. On Discord, we created a community of over 100 people who are playing D&D around the clock. By integrating Discord and D&D Beyond, we're able to provide an immersive experience that is the first of its kind. You can create a character from 1st to 15th level, and then roleplay 24/7 in our Discord channels while combating monsters, crafting weapons, training new skills, and searching for items across our campaign world. You'll also have the chance to participate in random combat encounters and go on monthly virtual quests. Ever wanted to try your hand at being a dungeon master? Or maybe you're an experienced dungeon master and just want the chance to run more adventures. As a community DM, you can run encounters and virtual quests for the community based on monthly modules written by our very own accomplished plot team. Join us.
Join us.
Check it out. Join the Discord.
Join us.
Join us.
And let's create incredible stories together.
Is money really worth all this?
It's not about the credits. I've been looking forward to this for a long time.
I bet you have.
You're not getting the drop on the villains with sounds like that. Your game needs Sirenscape. The Sirenscape online player has a huge library of epic sounds for any situation. Epic games need epic sound. Go to Sirenscape.com to get started today.
It is said that the ancient Forge Masters would infuse a part of their souls into their creations, imbuing courage, strength, and grace with each strike of the hammer. But somewhere, deep in a dwarven hall, the last of the Forge Masters is hard at work.
Thing about using Shard Tabletop for this game was how accessible everything is and how everything is just at a glance. I do a lot of work with like accessibility, especially for disabled and neurodivergent people in the TTRPG community. And
Wastes of Chaos, the latest sourcebook from Kobold Press, gives you everything you need to create hard-hitting adventures in devastated lands far from civilization. From powerful new players options to ghastly villains and twisted locations. And with the Tales from the Wastes companion book, you'll get adventures uncovering the ruins of a world that was. Back Wastes of Chaos on Kickstarter today and bring full mental havoc to your campaign.
Welcome back from break. When we left everyone, you had found a journal for the Merif.
Share the Merif.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had found a book and a journal, and we were going to find out what was in it, because you do not trust the mayor, and you think that there may be something else going on.
Yeah.
But before we do that, you are heading along the road to find the Merif, as it were. And you kind of rush down, again, quite busy now. Everything's kind of milling about. You weave in and out. I'm assuming you're trying to get there fairly quickly.
Yes, yeah.
And you kind of get to the doorway and you see that there is blood kind of drips and splatters. And as you walk in, you hear muffled voices in potentially what you imagine is a back room. Yeah. There is a door that is closed, and the front area is just a barber shop. Counter on the left, like I said, 3 wash basins, 3 chairs, and there's various tools, not only for barbering, but also for other surgical things, little pliers and hammers and little things in there as well. On the right side is kind of a seating area with a little tiny pedestal sort of desk with a cash register. And then you see that there is a door that is closed in the back. And you can see that there is kind of blood that is splattered and smeared leading to that doorway. And it has been closed.
Is there anybody in that space, like nervously waiting or something?
No.
Okay. In which case, I will cross the room straight away and just open the door into the back room.
Okay. All right. As soon as you open the door to that back room, you open it up and you hear, and right to your forehead is Clint, and he looks at you. and back in, and he goes to the side. And the scene in the back is chaotic somewhat, as you imagine it would be. There is blood kind of covering this table. The room is only about 10 by 10 feet. There is a makeshift wooden surgery table kind of in the middle, and the mayor is lying on the table, and is bleeding, is still unconscious. And there is a dragonborn creature who is kind of like a burnt orange color, and dressed in like light-fitting fabrics, and is currently working on, and didn't look up when you came in, but is currently working and stitching and working on the current situation.
Nod to Clint, just walk past, dump my bag on a spare table, reach open into it, pull out an oil skin roll, unclip it, roll it out, and this beautiful, pristine set of surgical tools unravels.
Nice. Very nice.
And I drop the jacket, start rolling up my sleeves, and go, permission to assist.
And he says, he looks at you, looks at all of that. Give me a persuasion check, please.
13.
That's enough. When he's like, you sure you got what it... And he looks at your tools, he's like, all right. And you do notice in here too, and you noticed out front that there was a large scale mural that covered the back kind of seating area that looked hand painted. And the mural continues through the door and then into this space as well. And it's all like lush landscapes and beautiful flowers and cherry blossom trees. And lots of people in the scene all along the side and in the back and in this room. And you even notice that this large-scale dragonborn has like paint splatters on his kind of clothing that he's wearing, but he's very bohemian. He's very like rustic and earthy, and just you can tell it's kind of in touch, but is feverishly working, calm, but feverishly working on a wound in the side.
So I will come up to the now still unconscious.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of he's moving like this because he's being worked on.
And I will absolutely not run roughshod over what's going on. I will assist, I will ask questions, and I will do exactly what to support them. So I would like to make an assist for their medicine check.
Sure. Insight check. And then medicine check.
8 on the insight, but if it's a medicine check, I can just give them my bonus on there. If I'm aiding them.
Yeah, I guess I'm asking for a medicine check just as you take a cursory look.
Oh, I see. Okay.
To kind of
gauge,
triage the situation and just look at what's going on.
That would be 27 on the medicine check.
Wow. Nice. All right. So he has. First off, insight. You can tell that this individual has taken this up because he owns a barbershop, and because he's good with his hands. But for the most part, bullet wounds and so on aren't necessarily. This is a little bit beyond his reach, and he's doing his best.
Okay.
There are clearly 3 wounds. One of them, you can see that the slug has been pulled out, and he's currently stitching. But there are 2 more wounds. One in the shoulder, a little low for your own well-being, and then one in the neck as well.
Oof.
That he's profusely bleeding from.
Where the one that he's pulled out and is stitching on, where is that located on the body?
On the side.
And he's gone for that one instead of the one in his neck.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see how it pans out. I'll look and go. I'll just take a look at this one if you don't mind, pointing at the oozing one in the neck.
Sure. With the 27, you get the sense that he was concerned about the lung.
Yes.
And maybe he was having a hard time breathing.
Yeah.
And it may have hit something vital. Whereas the neck, though it's through the neck, is still
yeah.
not as dire as a potential lung wound where he'll suffocate and drown. And so he says, well, start taking bullets out. We need to get there. So he's giving you permission to not just assist, but actually take care of. Okay. So where are you going to go first? Chest or neck?
As long as it's in the upper shoulder, and it's not further down.
Yes.
I'm going to go for the neck.
You don't think it's hit anything vital, and it appears to have passed right through.
Oh, okay. Then, yeah.
Okay. So you're going to start on neck?
Yes, I will.
Okay. All right. I would like you, with a 27, it's great. You've assessed it. You've been able to look at it. You know what's going on. You know exactly what you need to do. I need you to give me a sleight of hand check.
A sleight of hand check? Oh, if only...
with proficiency, do you have any sort of medical proficiencies or skills, traits,
I'm
feats?
trained in medicine.
That's his
that's my expertise. Yes, it's also my background. I am a healer.
Yeah, okay.
Not a magical one.
But what I'm saying is mechanically no feats or anything that give you any bonuses when it comes to healing or any sort of surgical stuff.
No, I have the surgical tools which give me some mechanical bonus for recovery.
For this, I'm going to say give me your sleight of hand check, but add your medicine bonus to that.
I will just read you this out for my background. Due to your diligent study of nature and anatomy, when a difficult medical problem presents itself, you can often remember what the best treatment might be. This knowledge might come from your studies or your understanding of surgical techniques or medicine.
Beautiful. Okay.
Cool.
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's what I'm going to say then. Instead of adding your proficiency, I'm going to give you advantage on your sleight of hand check.
Oh, okay, nice.
Cool. For this wound specifically, it came through the neck. It went through the other side. It's close to major arteries. Yeah. You don't know how his voice will be impacted because it is pretty close to all the vitals, but it seems to have gone through.
My worries.
Yeah.
Keep them alive.
Okay, that's a good roll. That's also a good roll, but I will take the 16, so that's 20 total for sleight of hand.
Okay, so you get in there and you start to try and find that round, that slug, to pull it out. Okay, back at the town hall. You start to read this journal. You gain a number of tidbits. Basically, it is a ledger of everyone in town.
Okay.
It's kind of the first half of the book, or of what has been recorded. The second half is, so it's a list of everybody that's come through town, everybody who's living in town, and little notes about each of them.
Okay.
Some of them pertinent, some of them just consequential. The second half is assumptions and things that have been reported, and then notes as to how he's progressing through that. And so I'll give you the things that are kind of, it's a lot of information. I'll give you the highlights, and if there's anything else further that you want, I'll tell you if it's in there or not, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
About people around the town. And so if you're like, oh, what about this? Is there anything about this?
Right.
Then I will give you, because most of it, like I said, it's consequential.
Okay.
Inconsequential, sorry, for that. Okay. So starting with the ledger, things that kind of stick out that are important story-wise potentially for you folks. Mr. Yates is the biggest landowner in these parts.
It's probably that.
Telling you it's the dude. It's the
No,
guy.
it's
Right.
Yeah.
Mr. Yates?
Yeah.
Bank guy.
Yeah.
His white suit after Labor Day.
I just ripped off my microphone like a complete pro.
No worries.
Nailed it.
And then also, beside that also is a little footnote that he wrote in that says that he thinks that Mr. Yates wants to be mayor. And maybe he's vying to be. Okay? That's Mr. Yates. You can tell by the notes that there's some uneasiness for the twins.
Oh, which twins?
And specifically, he wrote that beside the gravel mains. Rusty gravel main
Okay.
and Burton gravel main. And there's a little note
they're the Undertakers.
that Rusty's the Undertaker and Burton is a merchant. But they're twins, and he's got some he's drawn like a bunch of question marks around those names.
And his Rusty's brother's name is?
Bert.
Burton.
Burton.
Undermain.
Gravelman.
Gravelmain, sorry. I was yeah.
Gucci Mane.
And Rusty was the Undertaker. Burton was the merchant.
Correct.
Shut up. Gucci Mane.
There is a note about Shayna, the orc, who runs Outrageous Streets, and that she was once potentially an adventurer.
Okay.
With part of a group.
Okay.
There is a note beside a name Decus Gra.
Decus.
Gra.
Graw.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a name.
Priest is written beside it.
Okay.
I'm gonna put more graw.
And then little notes that say Town Mother.
Ah. Okay.
And then there's definitely like a list of everybody that works at the Paradise Rose.
Okay.
And the names of the folks that you met are on that list. And it's run by Fanny.
So British.
You do see that Aunt May is in there.
Where's Uncle Ben?
I knew it was coming.
What about
He's the rice farmer in the.
Oh, is he? What about Aunt May? Does it say anything about her?
What's that?
Does it say anything about Aunt May?
No.
Okay, just list her.
Yes, it does. Sorry, it does. That she has the best scones in town, maybe even better than Outrageous Streets.
Competition coming on.
Side quest.
I was there.
We got many side quests. We gotta go.
And then beyond that, so that's the ledger part. That's kind of those are the notes kind of stick out of the list. If there's anybody else you want to see if there's any notes about, I can let you know.
Anything on Archie?
On Archie, interesting. Yes, there is. Bear folk. Reported incident at Outrageous Streets. Found loitering.
I love him.
And was kicked out. And he lives in Tent Town.
Is there anything about like this is just the new mayor's records? Like this is just his.
And the sheriff. You get the sense he's been the sheriff for a while. With his notes, he's been the sheriff here for a while. He's probably the friend of the mayor that passed, and then just mayorship passed over to him when the passed.
Is there anything about like Wedler, Tweedler? Because he only lives like an hour outside town, so I'd assume that sometimes he comes in.
You don't find anything under Tweedler or Wedler.
Okay.
Any
Or Tweed?
Or Mr. Tweed.
Old Man Tweed, you do.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually.
old man Tweed?
It says he's
trying to keep notes.
It says he's friendly enough.
Okay.
Keeps to himself.
Okay.
Mutters a lot.
Well.
And there's a question like money symbols and then like a question mark beside it.
Okay. Anything about crimes or strange activity happening after in the evenings?
Yes,
Like,
yeah. So we'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
So that was the ledger, kind of the breakdown of the people in the town, and then the next part is like all of the reports that have been put in, and just his personal notes about that. Obviously, there are official reports somewhere. They're not in this desk.
Okay.
That have been written out by the people here, but at least these are notes that exist.
Okay, cool.
There's a whole thing for Jenkins Johnson's death, JJ's death. There's a note that says definite foul play.
Yep.
We'll get to the bottom of it. Graves at the graveyard have sunken in recently.
Okay.
And so the ground is level, and then there's like cave-ins for the graves.
Okay.
Scavengers have been spotted at the old needle and thread that burnt down. And like looters, basically. They think in the evening.
Mm.
And then around that whole area, like who's responsible with a big like question marks.
Okay.
The completionist in me is like every side quest go.
And then there's a note regarding the ever living bandits.
Okay.
The name is there. Weirdly blank. Mostly rumors. Have multiple lives. Led by the man with half a face. Have never been seen in these parts, but close.
Okay.
And then like impending doom? Question mark? Question mark?
Dramatic, Sheriff.
And then like with a smiley face, and like a face with like the squiggly line for a mouth. And that's pretty much it.
Okay. Nexus will like speed read through this whole journal and kind of like look up at everybody.
Oh, sorry. Under the Jenkins section, Clint, Ninguno, Ninguno.
And say it again.
Ninguno, Ninguno. Guno, Ninguno, is the name of, and he says bounty hunter. He says 100 gold. Half up front, half when discovered or solved.
Anything here, just out of curiosity, anything here about neighboring or closer towns?
Not in this journal, no.
On this journal.
Any questions?
While they're reading that, I'm just gonna do a the quickest look to see if there's any information, because it's town hall, so there's a lot of information about this town, but where I would think they would have either historical context or books and atlases or things that's about the neighboring areas.
Yeah, great. So you start to search. Give me an investigation check. While you're doing that, then there's just general information about people around the area. Dust goblins.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Dust goblins, the wasteland orcs, they're called, or the dreadland orcs, things like that. And so just general kind of like...
What is the date of the death of Mayor Jenkins? How long has he been dead?
4 days.
That is why the bandits showed up asking for things, because they didn't know. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Five. You start looking around, and nothing in this main area here. Nothing at the registration desk. If you want to search elsewhere in the building, then you can try to do so.
I would love to, but we gotta go check.
I think Nexus is gonna like speed read through this whole journal, and kind of like finish it. And she's gonna very like privately note like the Archie stuff. Like she's not gonna mention it. But she's just gonna look up and say, unfortunately, there is not much here that is not secondary to our purposes. There is a mention of a Mr. Tweed, but there is not much information available. This mostly seems like a roster and perhaps a few private notes. Should we meet up with the rest of the group?
Yeah, we should put it back.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
We should put it back.
Why hide it? Why put it in some... If it's not something that has that much importance.
Well, it is possible that the sheriff/mayor wanted his private thoughts kept private. I do not feel as though there's many overt secrets in this document, but...
Plus, if it was foul play, no need to let on to the murderer that they're on to him. So you gotta hide the information. Because I imagine they're doing everything they can to keep it under dust.
If I can try something. One final thing. I was like, can I take a look at that?
Yeah, go for
I take it, and what I do is I take a separate sheet of paper, and I'm assuming there's blank pages there. I flip to that, put the paper on, and then take like a ink,
rubbing,
and then rubbing ink, and then just try and see if there's anything that I can.
Like ghost letters, yeah.
For the Okay, yeah.
In the blank pages of the document, see if there's anything.
Yeah, investigation check with advantage, please. Sorry, I missed one bit of information too. There is, in the Dust Goblin section, there is mention of the Mingwa Tribe.
Ooh.
Okay. Also, can I help? Like, I'll just
give
Nexus will like
give
do, like,
him
a
your
computer
investigation bonus.
Okay, it's +4.
Oh yes.
The Mingwa Tribe. It describes a tribe in the area.
An advantage? Is it an advantage or a +4?
Both.
Oh, okay.
The Mingwa Tribe specifically is a tribe of dust goblins in this area, and within the Dreadlands. And there's notes that say that they ride desert cats.
Ooh.
Large ones.
Just going in.
That are unnatural. And then it says, and there's like multiple spellings of Mingwa, like Mingwa, and he's just trying to figure out like how you spell it, because most of it's word of mouth. And like he has like a sketch of like a lion-looking sort of creature.
Unnaturally cool cats.
I don't know
Okay, so what'd you roll?
anything about that.
I rolled an 18.
Okay.
+4?
Nothing.
No.
With the +4, it was 18.
Yeah.
Okay. So as I see that there's nothing come, I just hand it back.
I will not intercept, but the mage hand will go to grab the book, and I'm going to try to put it back exactly as it was, to make it seem like nothing was ever even messed with.
Okay, except for all the papers that Wedler did this to through the desk.
Oh, I have a plan for that.
Okay.
But make sure all the at least the actual compartment is sealed again.
Okay. Perception check for where you think you saw it when Wedler found it, because you weren't the one to find it.
Sure. That is a 20.
Oh, with disadvantage. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
Oh, it's great.
Great. 20.
Okay, cool. And then a performance check to try and place it.
Performance?
The way that you.
6.
Okay. So you remember where it was, and you kind of like, I think it was like that, and you kind of place it into the drawer, and you close the drawer.
But what I do, look at everyone and say, sounds weird. We just did this. We need to make sure it is what it is. Ransack a little bit. Make it seem like the bandits did more after the sheriff went unconscious.
Fair point.
Wheeler immediately grabs his pickaxe and finds the closest thing that will break, like a vase. It's like,
I think we have a one-man army over there, so I don't think we need to do much.
Nexus like tips her head and she kind of like looks at the desk and she just like slides like a single like coffee mug like off the cat, you know, just like does this, and then she's like just like looks at you expectantly.
Wheeler's in the background, kicks a chair.
You're allowed to knock it off if you want to.
She pushes it slightly more toward the edge, reconsiders and pushes it back.
Love that.
And I'm no, I'm not gonna say that for later. But I'll say we should go check in, make sure to start heading out.
Definitely need to regroup.
Let's say from upstairs, there's been just loud buzzsaw snoring the entire time.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, I thought you were in this room. That's right. I totally forgot.
You just heard bed springs scream in pain for a brief moment. And
Okay.
Maybe I'll go wake him up.
Okay, so I would say you get up to that room, and I didn't. Everything had passed.
Oh, sorry.
Farther than no, it's my fault. It is locked.
Oh.
You could force it open if you like. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, give me an athletics check.
Okay.
Or if you want to hit it, I'm gonna say, you know what? For the sake of brevity, don't worry about that. You managed to break the door. It's not a super door. Anyways, as it
just push
opens,
until it dies.
there is a large room, and this appears to be like a lounge area, where you imagine the key relaxes. It's a bit of a library as well, and it smells like pipe and cigar smoke in here. And there isn't a bed, unfortunately, because it is the town hall. But there is absolutely like plush couches that exist and like high back chairs in this area.
They're not that high backed anymore.
No.
Got it.
Like a little fort.
I just push stuff together and just lay it across the top of it.
Okay, cool. So you still are sleeping up in the lounge. Got it. Cool.
I'll just go up to try and wake him up.
Yeah, we gotta finish ransacking it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And there is also a door leading further into this space.
Oh.
Let's head out, y'all. I'm getting sidetracked.
I literally come up, just Whaler's just chaos knocking things. Then he finds the cigars, grabs a handful of those, and puts them in his pocket, and then he keeps ransacking. Yeah.
Okay.
Big guy. Big guy, come on.
He gets up and it's a big couch, yeah?
Yeah.
He gets up and the couch is just soaked in blood. He's like, all right, let's go. He got shot like 15 times.
Oh, buddy. Oh, okay.
Is that your blood?
That's some of it.
Let's go.
Yeah, well, we're going to the barber.
Where our medic is, so
Yeah.
come on.
All
Okay.
right.
Back over here.
Yep.
All right. What was your sleight of hand check on that? Do you remember?
It was like 20.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
something
was
like that,
20,
right?
yeah, dirty
Okay.
20.
So you, by this point, have easily pulled the slug out. What do you do next?
I am going to sew up the neck.
Oh, sorry, I said it went through.
Yeah, you did.
So you're trying to find any fragments. You find
Yeah.
some fragments. You clean out the fragments to make sure, because that's bad news.
Yes.
You manage to, you think, clean the wound as best as possible. Pull the fragments, clean the wound. What do you do next?
My main thing then is to, because
And it's still bleeding. Yeah, and you've been in there, so it's like.
So I'm going to need to sort of like
Yeah.
sew up that.
Okay, cool.
Because again, this one nasty, that one more concerned.
Yeah, okay.
Is the barber still plugging away?
Yeah, he's stitching up that one on his side.
How is his stitching?
That's a great question.
No.
Not great.
Okay. So he's pulling it too tight. It's
Yeah.
puckering slightly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not great. And you imagine, you see he's nervous.
Yeah.
His hands. This is the mayor and the sheriff, so he's feeling the pressure.
Can you do me a quick favour, as I'm sort of like that?
Yeah. He looks up.
Can you just grab something and hold it to his shoulder? That's just stop that.
Yeah.
I'll finish that up. Don't worry about it. I'll do that for you.
Oh, all right. And he grabs a towel, big like fluffy towel, and he puts it on.
Yeah. So I
Okay,
just want
great.
him to staunch any bleeding
Sure.
from the shoulder, and I'll fix the stitching when he's not at immediate risk.
Okay. So you're stitching up the neck.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. You stitch up the neck, and you start to. In the middle of that, the sheriff wakes and begins screaming and freaking out.
And Clint, hold him down.
He's pale, a little blue.
Grab his legs.
Sorry, folks. We good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So Clint grabs his legs. We're gonna do strength checks.
I just feel bad for him more than anything.
And he's still like Clint is having a hard time holding him down alone.
Okay. What's your name? Sorry, I don't know. Go into my bag. Glass vial. Cloth.
Okay. He runs into the bag, pulls out the.
And he's pulling things. No, not that one. Next, no, that one.
Yeah, he's like, there's so many vials.
Yeah, soak the rag. Soak it.
Okay, and he pours it in and he gives it to
Hold
you.
it on his face. No, not me.
Okay. He tries to do that. And he puts it on, and the sheriff goes back under.
We all cool?
Is it?
We're cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Clint.
Okay.
Don't
And
go
he
so
kind of
far.
steps back. He can't die.
Well, no, he'll be fine.
All right. He owes me money.
Put the rag down. Sorry.
And so that's not
Yes.
the barber. That was Clint.
That was Clint, yeah.
That was Clint. I know they all sound the same.
Yeah. Sorry. What was your name?
Yes.
Sir.
My name's Leroy.
Leroy, put the chloroform down, and then put that on the screen again. We're
Yes,
cool.
of course. Yes.
No, it's all right. You're doing a bang-up job.
Thank you.
No.
Fantastic.
And then I'll carry on stitching.
I usually pull teeth.
No, we've all got to start somewhere.
I usually pull teeth.
Multiple bullet wounds is perhaps a little bit of high of a difficulty curve, but we'll go with it.
I'm confident in your abilities.
Yeah.
You've got this.
We will get through this
You've got
together.
this. Yes, we will.
Yeah.
You will succeed. I hope.
Out of
All right.
curiosity, I really don't want to
Yeah.
take a moment, but how long do you think it takes for us to get there?
I would say by this point you're there.
Okay.
No, you did a bunch of things. I'm
But
gonna say
kind of happen at the same time. That's all
yeah,
I was
one more task after that. What's the next thing you're gonna do?
So, having sewn up his neck, I am going to basically take a look at his shoulder.
Yeah.
The wound on his side, again, is the last thing. I'll just stitch that up because it's already been dealt with. So
You hope, yeah.
that's a good point, actually. Is it oozing?
Medicine check on that one.
Yeah. And is he getting paler? So 22 on a medicine check.
Okay. With a 22, it is festering slightly, but not infected. But it is starting to red around the edges. There is a little bit of oozing happening.
Okay.
Through the half stitches.
But there's no. It doesn't look like he's bleeding internally, and like the wound's starting to sort of
No,
expand.
but there is no exit wound.
Yeah. Where's the bullet in that one?
Right here, and he points at the slug that's on the.
Is
the table.
all of it there?
No.
Oh. Fudgesicles. Right. Grabs a scalpel. Cuts through those stitches.
Yeah.
We've got to do this. Clint, I need you to. I need another pair of hands.
All right.
Just put there and there and do that.
Oh man, he's lucky he heals me. And he did like separate it. Okay,
And then
then he's like, ugh, and he does it.
Yeah, and then I will try and find the rest of the slug.
Okay, all right. Let's get back to you guys. You all exit. You start to, and you can tell that a little bit of a group has started to gather outside of the barber shop.
I'm going.
And they're talking like, oh, the sheriff, he's in there. And
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Is there like a well or like a bucket of clean water?
Yeah.
around?
So the well is just south of there. You can see it in the map, but yeah, it's just south of there where 10 Towns is, just like 40 feet in the middle of the road, closer to the lake because it seeps through. That's where water gets. So yeah, there's a well right there.
Okay. I would like to get a bucket of water from the well and
Okay.
bring it to the porch of the barbershop.
Okay.
And then, like, because Archie's bleeding. He's, like,
Yes.
actively bleeding and
Yes.
been shot.
Yes.
So, it's fine. I'll do it. Nexus will kind of, like, gesture over to Archie and have him sit down. And she's going to reach into her bag and she's going to pull out the borax from the blacksmith shop. She's going to say, borax is an interesting item because in very high concentrated doses, it is quite poisonous to many beings. However, when mixed with water and she dumps it into the bucket, she stirs it around a little bit with her hand, she says, it converts to hydrogen peroxide, which has healing and cleaning properties. And then she's just going to dump it on Archie's back.
You are so magical.
All right, and immediately when it hits your back, it starts to as hydrogen peroxide does. You feel a bit of a sting and cool, but it feels actually nice to be dumped with cold water.
Are there any bullets in your back?
Oh no, I took a nap.
Can I check him for leftover?
Yeah, so you can look at it. You can medicine check.
Oh no.
And I'm going to say with advantage because now the wounds are cleaner.
It's easier maybe to see.
It's been poured on, so you'll get advantage based on that.
I think it's a 3 because it's based on my wisdom. No, that's an 8.
Advantage.
Okay.
Oh wait, you said advantage. I'm so sorry. Nope, it is the exact same roll. Nope, it is even worse.
Oh no.
So 8.
Okay. All right. Yeah, with an 8, you're not sure. A lot of fur, a lot of blood.
Yeah, I see nothing. Maybe we should ask Mr. Smith.
No, I'm alright. That mushroom's got enough on his mind.
And I'm gonna say, I believe in you, big boy. I'm gonna go check, and I'm gonna step inside.
Okay. All right. You step inside. Same thing. You see the mural on the wall, and then the door is ajar.
Yeah, seeing that, knowing that Smith came here and knowing.
And you see the milling about. You see Mr. Smith like.
Yeah. And knowing what he can do, I am gonna stick the badge on.
Okay.
And I'm gonna step around.
Yeah.
Doing okay in here?
We were fine, and now we're not. Ask me again in a minute.
Or, hold on, and I'll come in closer, and I'll nod to Clint. Don't know this individual, the Leroy individual.
Yeah.
Say, for now I'm acting as a deputy to this one. Nice to meet you. Hold, and I'm gonna step closer, just kind of survey what's going on. Notice it, almost heave, but not really. But I'm gonna say, let me help. I'm just gonna place my hand down, and my hand's going to go completely ethereal for a second, as some of the smoke in that etherealness starts to pour off, and it's gonna waft over the Marif. This isn't gonna hurt. It's just gonna help give you some time.
Oh, he's unconscious, mate.
Oh, but this is gonna keep him alive at least.
Oh, cool.
And as it kind of seeps through, goes into his nose, goes into some of the areas that's been hurt, I'm casting Heart to Heart.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Heart to Heart. For the duration, you and the creature you touch remain stable and unconscious. If reduced to 0, while the other one has 1 or more hit points. If touching a dying creature, it becomes stable but remains unconscious while it has 0 hit points. So I'm just keeping him stable using my own hit
So
points.
he can't go.
He cannot die.
He can't die at all ever.
He can't die while I'm with him.
Okay.
He will always be stable.
I've seen this before. And Mr. Smith looks up with concern on his face and go, "You're hurt. You be careful."
Yeah, I don't think he's going to shoot me right now. So, as I say that, Mage Hand closes the door.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. Cool. Those of you that are outside currently, you do see that a gentleman walks up the street, and he is currently flanked by 2 orcs on either side, of varying shades. One has kind of a grayish kind of skin tone. The other one has like a yellowy sort of greenish skin tone as they walk. And they're well dressed, 3-piece suits, really nice short brim hats. And he is dressed in a 3-piece white suit, wide brimmed hat. And he looks like he's lived a good life and he's got money. And as he walks, he starts kind of at the edge of the crowd, kind of look around and take it all in and see what's happening.
How disruptive are all these people standing here rubbernecking?
They're just watching and talking. Right now, they're not causing any trouble or any problems.
I mean, is he just like at the edge of the crowd, or does he look like he's?
No, he's at the back of the crowd and he's just looking.
Can
And
we see
waiting.
if he looks like smug about it? Or like, what was his countenance?
I just don't know if Nexus would care.
Wheatler sees him walk up in there. You can't miss him, can you? It's like 3-piece white
Oh
suit.
no, yeah,
and his
and flanked by 2
But
7-foot
Wheeler
orcs.
is easily missed. So Wheeler like skirts into the back of the crowd, grabs that eyeball, goes invisible, like scutters around kind of behind him and his orcs, and then reappears rather quietly and just simply says,
Oh, sure is a shame about the sheriff and all that.
just to prompt maybe a reaction to see if I can.
Okay, give me insight checks for the 2 of you.
Oh, from 2 of us?
Well, yeah, because he had asked about his countenance.
Oh, I
and
see.
so now you're also.
I thought I'd play gossip. No, I rolled in that one.
So are you trying to help him?
I can help.
Or you were doing it separate?
Either way, which one?
My plan was to more. I don't know if it was a persuasion. It's not really an intimidation. It's like I'm trying to seed him to say something to maybe
Persuasion.
persuasion.
Yeah.
Would you? Yeah. I rolled in that one.
Okay, so that one for the persuasion.
Yep.
What was your insight?
6.
Okay. You can't read him really, and even when you say that, there is no response from him. With that nat 1, you absolutely get the sense that he cares about the mayor deeply. Probably close friend, and really wants nothing of harm to occur.
Oh, interesting.
That's what the nat one.
That's a nat one. Damn, they're like besties.
Yeah.
You look like maybe Wedler has 0 people skills.
You look like maybe you were his friend. Are you concerned?
He looks. Well, I must say, this is really unfortunate.
It is.
I never imagined that that those bandits would come to this town. The ever-living bandits have been in this area, and we've been preparing, but it's hard to prepare for that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah. So bad. What do you do without the sheriff and the mayor?
I don't know. It's a problem. He's both.
It's
and
true. Seems like the people in this town are just dying.
Would the insight check only have been for the Mr. Yates, or would that have covered also the bodyguards, or could I check the bodyguards instead now? To see if they have any red?
I'll allow that insight check for all of them. Like
Okay.
you inside of the area.
Okay.
We won't do another roll for that.
Got it.
Yeah. The guards are just they're all there for business.
Deadpan, yeah.
And he says, I was in the bank. What happened here? You're all new to town.
Well, since you're his friend and all, I'll tell you. Bandits rolled up into town and just, they claimed that the old mayor owed them something and they were here to collect. But we all know the old mayor's dead, old Jenkins.
Oh, yeah.
So nobody to pay. And so, unfortunately, the mayor had to step up.
Well, I hope he makes it. It's important that he does, but if he doesn't, well, this town is in good hands.
Oh, really? Whose hands?
All states.
Not sponsored.
He says, don't you worry yourself, and he kind of like taps you on the head,
But aren't you worried?
and then he like takes out a kerchief and like wipes his hand after.
Oh. I mean,
Wedler doesn't care.
Yes.
But yeah, really doesn't care. But doesn't that it'd be so sad? Your friend and all. And who's left to run things here?
We have, what's the word? Capable people.
Oh yeah, like the lady who makes the treats.
Yeah, her.
She'd be great.
All right. Well, I'm gonna find out what's going on, and he starts to kind of like move towards, and the orcs like part the crowd and start to kind of walk forcefully sort of towards the area, and he starts to move by.
I think, because unless anybody else wants to help out with this, but she would then get in the way and say, I do apologize, but I believe that they're trying to do a bit of a sensitive thing in there, and I don't think any of us...
And I believe you're new to this town, and I think you need to step aside.
Is he like at the? Is he like at the door?
Yeah, he's at the porch. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm assuming you were kind of closer to the front. He's at the porch.
Yeah, and I'll.
And then when he says that, those guards step out and onto either side of you.
When they do that, I stand up and get up behind Shiv and just glare at them little shrimps.
And Nexus will stand up and say, "Hello, I am Nexus."
I do believe.
I love her.
And also her.
As much as you may be a part of this town, you were not involved in the situation. We were.
I own this town.
I believe that's the mayor that...
I own this town.
Oh yeah, well where
I
was you?
suggest y'all move aside before I have you removed.
By who? And you see Shiv just take the gun
Nope,
out.
nope,
No, just like, they just put not in like his hand, they just put it out, it's on the ground.
Doesn't make you do you reach for your gun?
I'm the
Do
most
you reach for your gun?
person here.
I think instead of reaching for the gun, kind of just... Too late. Okay, too late.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right, so you start to reach for your gun. I would like you all to roll initiative.
Oh,
no!
Because at least the track turns. I'm not saying we're in combat. I'm saying we're tracking
Try to
turns.
do it
we gotta do it in
You want us to do it inside as well?
What's that?
Us to do it inside as well?
Yes.
Okay. There you go.
Oh, man. Oh, wow, that's weird.
Are we doing it in chart?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing
If
it
you
short.
can,
Yeah,
I
of
can
course.
always manually
I
enter it,
totally can. I
Which
guess.
one?
Yeah.
No, you're good.
Sorry.
Rolling
Nice.
that 20.
I'm sorry, I'm really
That's
expecting that.
19.
okay. All right.
All right.
Shiv just lights blue touch and retires.
No, I rolled a 4.
That's all right.
I rolled a nat 20 on the die and a 4 on the digital.
Oh no!
So it looks like Sully is up first.
Yeah, give me 1 sec.
I thought he was inside.
It's pretty
Yeah.
dead. No, well, we're not.
We're just
yeah,
tracking
it's
the
tracking.
orders. Oh,
Well, what RealmSmith like to do sometimes is using the initiative as a mechanical way of just tracking.
Yeah.
that
Who
kind of stuff.
storytelling? Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
For
Yeah.
turn
I know
passing
what I
and
want to do,
such.
and that'll.
Yeah, in tense situations where it really matters who goes when, typically in this scenario, as soon as you've triggered sort of a thing that everybody's going to want to do something, we like to sometimes go into initiative.
It just helps with turn order, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh no.
Oh no, it's going that direction. I'm just saying.
Okay, we got this.
Put in word to you.
Consequences.
Archie slept a while, and then Nexus rubbed a bunch of peroxide on his back.
Yeah.
Would you say that would have constituted a short rest?
Nap.
He did.
And I got medical treatment
yeah,
from a
it's
medical
first aid.
expert.
The science.
If not, that's all right. You can be
I
like,
would say no. I would say that it wasn't an hour. If you had taken more time, that's fine. But you went up while they were searching, and that maybe was 20 minutes.
All right.
If that max. So I apologize, but no.
Don't apologize.
All right. I am a gracious DM most of the time.
So gracious.
All right. Okay. You've got that in there. Initiative has been started.
Would you like me to put them in?
Yes, please do. Just put 2 orcs
Okay.
and Mr. Yates.
Is he any kind of particular a race or
A
build?
human.
He's just a human.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is 3
For the first orc,
for the first orc.
Great.
For the 2 orcs, I'd say.
you want to do them together?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Yates is a 17.
Okay.
Mr. Yates is a 17. I will get him added as well.
All right.
What did I do this way for
I am
him?
going to
That's what.
switch up Sirenscape real quick.
All right.
Shout out to Sirenscape.
Sounds
Charge
so
loop.
good.
All right, we are pretty much there. I'm changing this because he is not a back alley thief.
And I was not expecting a
Maybe
certain
empathetic.
thing, so just give me 1 second.
So-
Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay.
So technically, he is a back alley.
Shout out to our sponsors who make this possible.
Yes,
Shout out to
thank
Sirenscape
you.
Sound, Sports Gaming for the dice and epicness, to Shard for reusing initiative through you right now, to Cobalt Press for this amazing freaking setting and the ability to create this setting.
Back to Kickstarter.
To PBS Kids, because you like nice. I don't know.
Yeah. And you know what? And to Jason for putting all this together. To
Yeah,
his
buddy.
awesome creative mind to make this a reality.
Oh,
I'm
y'all.
Mr. Sponsor, but I'm not
Yeah.
responsible. for
Check
Yeah.
the link in chat.
Yeah.
Energy drinks.
Check out the Kickstarter as well.
I'm telling you.
I
Yeah,
still need
yeah.
more time.
Yeah, check out the Kickstarter.
Okay.
Not much, but
Well,
I still need more
Yeah.
time.
What for the Kickstarter house? What's it's backed?
It's funded.
yeah. It's
So if I
funded.
do one out,
Very
so
quickly.
on the
So-
Kickstarter we've got 2 titles. We've got Waste of Chaos, which is the how to create this sort of waste area, and it's sort of examples and everything. It's live now.
When is it done?
We can, yeah.
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 So actually, it closes this week.
It's
of
this
this
week
show.
on- yeah, so we were
this
that-
week. So it'll be. So this is your last chance to
It's your
actually back
last
it
shot.
before
Yeah.
it closes. Yeah.
So there's a secondary book, Tales from the Waste,
Yep.
and it's a series of adventures scaling up. They are standalone modules. However, with a little bit of effort, you can sort of run them as a sort of an overarching campaign.
Yep.
We've got a fantastic dual foil limited edition cover on those, which is
Yeah,
so
if you like leather
pretty.
press foiled, it's
Oh, so pretty.
beautiful.
But Effin' Cool, fantastic miniatures company, they have the license for the Cobalt Press line, and we have a selection of miniatures, including 3 different sizes of the Wasteland Dragon.
We can get them in various sizes.
We've got a medium, a large, and a huge.
A huge.
How big is a huge miniature?
I mean, like,
that
That's
big.
it. It's not even a miniature anymore.
Yeah,
It's
no.
just
It's a maximature.
A huge turd.
But so we've got little buckets of things. So there's about 21 of them. But we
Yep.
have a trash mob bucket, and there's 6 dust goblins in that bucket. So if you want to just throw 100 dust goblins,
at the which we've done,
which we did in our
Yep.
DragonCon game.
Yep. Yeah, the Dust Goblins are, because they're a playable race, what did we do? They were all Dust Goblins, they were their own little tribe or whatever, and it was a lot of fun. And then we did a prepared module. I ran the Impregnable Fortress of Dib, and they also played all Dust Goblins against Dib and his little group of
If you get
bandits.
it, then you can make one Wheedler.
Yeah.
And
You can have your own very own
personal
Wheedler. Technically, you could have you could have Granddaddy Wheedler, Papa Wheedler, and Wheedler. Wheedler the Wet Hands. Wheedler the Third.
Also, petition to add a name to Wheeler because I would like to petition that Subtle is clearly Wheeler's middle name. Wheeler's
Subtle Wet Hands.
The Third.
The Third. Yeah.
All right, we're good. Thank you so
Illegal.
much. Appreciate that. Can you pass me the post-it notes behind you, please?
Oh, yeah, I got you. Oh, I say that. Dot falls off stool.
I almost went all the way backwards on my
Here's his
pillow.
pen.
Thank you. Thank
You have a
thank
pen?
Thank you. Yep. Thank you. Okay.
Yo, can we just talk about the fact that that surgeon was like, I pulled teeth, and he's over there stitching somebody up. That is my worst nightmare.
Yeah.
That's actually my worst nightmare, is like going to a doctor and they'd be like, oh, this is my first time.
Oh no.
That's the medical check that you said when you were like, yeah, it helps me remember like what to do. And I was like, yes, you remember that you should take the bullet out. You're like, yes, I'm an expert in my field.
Yes. You have to remove all the tooth, not just part of it. Oy vey.
Okay. All right. Starting off at the top of the order, you're currently not aware of what's happening outside.
Of course.
So I'm just gonna say, and it's moving a lot faster now. Obviously, we're out of open game kind of time, and so you're still working on stuff. You're still stabilizing. We're just gonna leave that until something happens outside that you that may.
I was going to ask a question because you said that we could. I just want to confirm before it was confirmed that using the money that we had to begin with our out of character, we could have some things bought to make sure it's out of our gold cost.
Yeah.
Would you, since we're third level, would you be okay with me having 1 potion of healing?
Sure.
Yeah.
Great. Then I am just really quickly going to, just as this is happening and I've closed the door, I'm just going to take like a small little vial or a small little flask thing and just keep this happen. It's not concentration, but keep this happening. I'm going to drink that. However, when I do this, sorry, it's 2d4 plus 2.
Mm-hmm.
That is 3 and 3, 8. 4 of that is going to go to. 3 of that is going to go to me as I drink it. You're gonna notice some of that smoke go down.
Cool.
5 of that is going to the mayor. Through
Okay,
heart
awesome.
to heart.
Okay, awesome.
Yep, that's all I'm doing. I just wanted to just get a little bit and then make
sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And as you're working, you see the wounds start to close up a little bit when that happens.
I was gonna say, I just did what I could. You got.
How many did he get? 3 or 4?
He got 5.
I got 5. When he gets to 5, actually, you see some ooze start to like pus or whatever start to like ooze out of the wound and down the side, and it goes just a little bit, making it a little actually harder to be in there. But it starts to close up a little bit. Okay.
Nice.
All right. So that's you two. Nexus, you are first.
So Nexus is kind of like right by Shiv and Archie, and so Nexus is going to step up like right into this mix, and she'll look up at. I mean, she doesn't know it's Mr. Yates yet, but she'll say, "Hello, I am Nexus." Just kind of look at him expectantly.
Yeah. With everything that is going on right now, what is your intention? Is your intention to distract him? Is your intention
I
to?
want to talk to him.
Okay.
I want to actively engage him in conversation.
Okay, you can see that he has tensed fairly significantly.
Yeah.
In this moment, he kind of stepped back and is kind of like eyeing everybody really quickly just to see how this is going to go down as his orcs are standing on either side of them,
you said that you're behind him at his shoulder, basically, and you are right beside him, behind him.
I think like Nexus is going to step in front.
Okay.
And her intention is that she wants to try and diffuse this in like her Nexus way.
Sure.
So she's going to step up and she's going to say, "Hello, I am Nexus." And when like a reply doesn't come and she watches him get like visibly tense, she will even pick up on that.
Yeah.
And she'll say, "I apologize for my friends. Our friend is inside. Mr. Smith is a healer, and I assure you that your friend is in very capable and very talented hands."
Okay. Can you give me a persuasion check, please?
I would love to do that.
With disadvantage, as your companion is pulling a gun.
Okay, there's one. Okay, it's two. That's gonna be an 8 for the low.
Okay. He says, we are not the ones escalating this. He is my friend, and I actually paid for that building that he's in, and I pay the wages of the people that are in there. So I suggest that all of y'all move aside. That's his response. You can respond back if you like, as part of your action, and then we'll move on.
Nexus is going to look around, and she's going to see kind of like these like townspeople, and all of this stuff happening. And she also realizes that her friend's inside, and they have no idea what is happening. So she's going to say, "What is your name?"
You may be the only person in this town that doesn't know my name, but my name is, you can call me Mr. Yates.
Mr. Yates, it is so important for a man of your stature and esteem to take as much care and attention to the townspeople that you are. In fact, it is very impressive. And she starts like applauding and trying to get like the people around to applaud and say, "People of Hellsbank, look at Mr. Yates, who is here caring for the citizenry and caring for your fine sheriff, mayor, and he is clearly a man of essence." And what Nexus is trying to do is make enough noise to get them to notice that something is happening outside.
Okay.
But also like kind of get
performance check.
Yeah.
Get them to your side.
I love Nexus, just so the world knows.
That is an 18.
Okay, very good. Everyone's like, yeah, and everybody starts kind of like around and starts, and Mr. Yates may not be convinced, and he is clearly a smart individual, and just kind of starts to kind of pick up on what's going on. Your passive perception. Your passive perception.
12.
You folks.
16.
Mine is, I believe, 13.
Yeah. Okay. So you hear a crowd clap and some sort of commotion outside, but it sounds positive.
Yeah.
And Nexus will say, "So obviously a man of such esteem and care would not want to interrupt a delicate medical condition. However, perhaps we can step outside while you take time to gather your thoughts for your friend. Shiv, of course, will let you aside, and Archie, of course, will be happy to assist you." And she'll just kind of like look at Shiv and be like, "Obviously Mr. Yates is welcome here."
In my own building, I believe, yes, that would be the case. With my friend under there, we don't want any trouble. I own this town.
None of us want any trouble. In fact, I believe that we are all here for the same common goal.
Move aside.
I would be happy to do so, as would the rest of us. And she mom arms her.
Do you both?
Yeah, but I'm making eye contact.
Yeah, I think I just shuffle to the side.
All right.
And Nexus will like deferentially sort of like bow and tip a hat that she is not wearing.
Yes.
Oh, no, I do it too then.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the time.
We do each other.
It's his turn. Was that his turn, the conversation?
No, his turn now. He will take his turn now. So that we'll say it was intermingled, and at this point, he as soon as you move aside, he walks up to the front door and through the door.
Wedler. Oh man. Real questions. Okay, Wheeler goes.
And the orcs obviously like turn back towards you, back out to the door, and stand on either side of the outside of the front door.
Does the crowd still seem to be like hyped up from Nexus's attempts?
Yeah.
Like they still seem to be in good
Sure.
spirits. Wheeler, knowing what we read in the book that he's interested in being mayor, goes,
Yeah, what are you gonna do about the bandit problem? I think you should make a speech.
You yell that, at Mr. Yates.
Speech. I'm yelling at the whole crowd from the back because you know we're standing at the back.
Yeah.
Just like,
Speech.
So your intention is to try and get Mr. Yates to make a speech?
yeah, to talk to the
Okay.
crowd of people instead of
Right.
ignoring them. He's trying to
Right.
keep him from going
Yeah,
inside.
persuasion check.
Oh no.
It doesn't even go here.
Yeah.
Doesn't even go here.
Okay. Oh, y'all. Okay, so there's nothing to add. That's a 2.
Yeah.
That's a 2.
Yeah. He's already in the building, and you imagine he's not having it.
Then Wheeler will simply
Say, that would make a very good mayor, now would it?
That's good.
let the people know that he ignored them. He,
Yeah.
you know, like I want to. Wheeler wants to see that a
Sure,
little bit.
sure.
And then Wheeler, okay. This is not a very large building, right?
No.
And they're walking at normal pace.
Sure.
Wheeler stutters like a madman around the back of the building to hopefully like a window on the back, and it's gonna be like, they're coming. Hey, Yates! In the surgical room to see if he can get them to like know before they
so
get a
you
surprise.
see every time you're all working and you have your hand and you see a Wheedler head, and every time Wheedler jumps up, a word comes out.
I was walking. I'm really not doing anything. I'm just, and it's not concentration.
Yeah.
So it's just like
Yeah.
flavor-wise, just there.
Yeah.
I guess.
But you can't hear it, so it's just this like.
And I can say, Smith, don't look up. Just keep walking.
Because the door had been shut by the mage hand, so we're in the back room.
Yeah, so the back room window that leads kind
Oh,
of
I
on the
see.
back
The window.
end.
Out the back, so out the back of the building.
On the back of the building. And there's a door
Also,
leading out.
this is maybe just honestly Kate not following, but why are we trying to keep him out?
Good question.
I don't.
I am interested in. I know why Wheeler's interested in keeping him out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
I just, as again, I just see Wheedler jumping, sigh, keep working. Don't look up.
Wheeler just on the window and backwardsly writes Yates in really bad handwriting so that they know Yates is coming. I'm just trying to let them know that somebody's about to walk in on them, and yeah.
I like the idea that you've written it backwards, but the S is still the wrong way around.
In the moment that Yates is written, you see Clint look up at the window, look over at you.
I've got him head down. I'm
Okay.
just doing my stuff.
Looks at you, realizes you're whatever, looks over at you because you're kind of looking around.
Yeah.
And kind of like narrows his eyes a little bit.
In what way?
Insight check.
Ooh, good call.
That is a 18.
He's not a fan of Yates.
He's not a fan of Yates?
Yeah, you could tell there's like this ain't good.
Okay, that's like, am I getting this ain't good?
Yeah. Not this ain't good, but like there's displeasure in the fact at seeing
of
that.
all the
seeing
people,
that.
why isn't Yates coming?
So as Yates had moved in, had he got to the door?
He's
and
not
started
there
doing
yet.
that? Okay, that's fine.
I underline it.
Actually, at that point, door opens.
So without bringing my head up,
Yeah.
there's just a shout. I just say in an annoyed manner, look, unless you are a good aligned priest, get the piss out of my operating room.
I have a good aligned priest on my payroll.
Yeah.
And he like steps in.
And I look up and pull a hand out of the wound, and I just go, get out!
And like,
and the blood.
Oh, under the white suit?
Yes. Oh.
Intimidation check.
Can I
or persuasion, depending on what you're trying to.
I mean,
oh no.
Can I look over it? 'Cause I don't know, and I'm obviously I have the badge on, but I just say I don't know what's going on, but we have a very delicate situation. Too much movement is actually going to kill this young fella. Please show some decorum. And I will help in any way, shape, or form.
I am trying to entreat him, but my demeanor is I'm annoyed, but I'm not trying to sort of browbeat. So that's a 19.
19 persuasion.
Yeah.
Okay, can you give him your bonus on that, please?
My persuasion?
Yeah.
Add +6.
Wow.
I'm the charismatic one of the group. Let me have the social moments.
He stops and he looks at you and he's got like this spray across his
'Cause
face and
I've got
across his
blood
yeah
all the way
yeah
up.
it's all across his suit and he looks down and he kind of looks over at the body and he says, "Don't lose him."
And the head goes back down.
And he looks at you.
Shut the door on the way out.
He takes in kind of everybody in the room. He's got to live. And he backs out and closes the door.
And it's not my turn, but something's gonna start. You're just gonna notice as he steps out, knowing that Smith is getting very frustrated, and knowing that too many people coming in, including potentially them, that the door handle and like the locking mechanism just starts to heat ever so slowly.
Okay.
That's gonna start hinting at something. That's it.
It's like Shiv's turn.
Exactly. It's not my turn. That's what I'm saying.
At this point, Shiv's just...
We're out of initiative order at this point.
Okay, great.
Let's just say that.
Okay. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, he just stands just holding that on to the side at a ready, and that's it.
Okay.
Then if... Okay.
Oh no, and then Nexus will kind of look over at Shiv and say, "I think Mr. Yates is not being duplicitous in his intentions in caring for the sheriff."
That may be the case, but...
You watch one of the orcs like eyeing the rifle at your side.
I wink at him, and I turn back to him. But sometimes certain people, especially when money is involved, tend to not be always the most trusted ones. Just my gut instinct.
Nexus will kind of nod and say, "But perhaps a little bit of trust is not necessarily the worst case scenario in a situation such as this when there is a life at stake."
Fair enough. But you read what you read in the book. So I just figured, at the least, we can keep the crowd out and...
Yes, I think we should keep the environment as peaceful and sanitary as possible so Mr. Smith may do his work.
And as soon as you say that, I put the rifle back onto the back of his shoulder.
And Nexus will lean over and you say,
I've got a very important question. Do we got any more of them baked goods?
Nexus will reach into her backpack and she'll pull out like a dealer's choice.
It's just big mouth, just wet, just.
When you put your rifle away, the orc looks at you. He winks.
Think he likes you.
By that time, you notice that door handle, the lock, the key, whatever, which that's in 2 pounds, just starts to just burn or rot, or it just becomes like mangled and weird as I cast Word of Unmaking and I completely destroy it. So they would have to really try to get in this door because the lock is now melted and destroyed.
Mr. Yates is still in the room.
No, he left.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
This is intentionally making sure no one else can immediately get in.
Okay. So okay.
We'll have to fix it after. But I'll get right now.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Cool. Cool. Yeah. Okay. All right. What do you guys do? While he continues to work.
I got a muffin.
Mr. Yates is in the kind of like ante-room with us.
No, Mr. Yates is in the barber part of the shop.
Okay.
He has not come out yet.
Yeah, we're on the porch.
You can see the movement in there, and you can see him take out a hanky and kind of like wipe his face.
Okay.
Can we like
do it?
He's within earshot, but through the orcs. The orcs are on either side. He's in the open door.
I do apologize. I didn't mean to cause too much stress, but you never know who to trust in these times. I apologize.
Well, I mean, you hear him say from inside, "I understand. Tensions are high. We just got attacked. I get it. But just know your place."
It sure would have been nice, as I come around the corner, to have more people when those bandits rolled into town. Where were you and your orcs?
Protecting the town's interests.
You mean your money?
Our money.
Mm-hmm.
It's called a bank.
Yeah,
That's a collective place where we put all of our money together. And the town makes money from that. And it's beneficial.
And that seemed important when the bandits weren't there to rob you?
They weren't here to rob me.
Precisely. So your logic is flawed.
I say very loud in front of everyone.
Why were you protecting the money when the bandits weren't here for that? They shot your sheriff, and your two big friends there should have been around, I think, since you own this town.
Huh. Huh. I know you're new here.
I'm actually not. I mean, to this town in particular, but not the area.
That's what I mean.
Uh-huh.
And I understand that probably most things go over your head.
Don't worry, I have a net to catch
But
them.
let me speak slowly. You have to understand that us leaving the bank leaves the bank open to getting robbed.
Right.
And so why would I send those that are protecting the town's money out in the street to get shot so that the bandits can banditize the money?
So
that doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Well, since you're not the mayor, I don't think it really matters if it makes sense to you. Oh, I was there, fending for the town with the rest of us to keep your sheriff that you want alive safe.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So, show of hands.
I'm standing on the porch.
Yeah.
Who here thinks that your money is more important than your sheriff and your mayor?
Quite a number.
Some people actually like there's a fair amount, like I say 50% of the people kind of put their hands up.
Archie's confused, he raises his hand.
No, I put Archie's hand down.
I guess what I'm saying,
Yeah.
Mr. Yates,
yeah.
since you're so tall and things don't go over your head, I'll put this
Sure.
real low to the ground where your
Thanks.
standards seem to be.
Oh.
We helped protect your sheriff and your town. All these people helped put the fire out back. You rolled up in a pristine suit to come check on him, concerned mostly about your money.
Right.
So, I don't think this is a town I'd want to be in anyways.
Then leave.
Oh, we plan to, but not before we save
don't
your
need-
sheriff.
No, see, he's our sheriff, first of all.
No, he's
No,
a
he's
sheriff.
our sheriff.
A sheriff.
The collective
A
money
sheriff.
of the
He's
town.
a sheriff. He's a sheriff of this town in which you claim to own. You can't own people, no matter how much money you keep safe in your vault. The value of this town is not your gold. It's your people. And if you forget that, you all ought to leave.
And walk out.
Remove her.
Oh, don't fret.
Him. Sorry.
Don't fret. I'll take myself down to your...
As the orcs kind of step
touch
forward
me.
to the edge
Oh,
of the.
if they touch me, it's
No,
over.
they haven't touched you. They just stand there.
Don't touch me! Don't touch me. I will remove myself. And the rest of you lot would be smart to do the same if you trust a man who wears a white suit to check on his friend who's dying. Pleasure out of season. I leave.
And since you know what, he's not at his bank. Guess where Wedler's going?
Oh no!
Yes!
Oh.
To banditize it.
All right. So you head out. You leave.
Yeah, Wedler's gonna be like, walk down this
Proud as he can be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and singing a song. I don't know something. Just do. And as soon as he's turned and busy doing something else, Wedler's like invisible again, and I'm gonna get her over to the bank.
Don't split the party too much.
I'm not gonna spend it. My goal is to see what this bank is. I simply want to peer in and see what this bank is like. Does this actually look like Wedler wants to peer in the bank?
Okay.
Who is he?
Okay.
Well,
So you
yeah.
start. It's gonna take you a little while to get up
That's
there.
fine. Yeah, it'll take me a hot minute.
Okay.
Wedler simply runs invisible, and he wants to go in and see, is anybody watching the bank? Are these the only two people that he had, or is he super duper lying? And I can just roll a flat perception in, whatever you want to make that fast and dirty. We don't need a whole scene. But Wedler's gonna go fuck his bank. I might even. That's my one. I'm sorry. Doc gets it today because he upset Wedler. You know what? And I'm also gonna pee on his porch.
I love Wedler.
Oh, that's good.
I'm just gonna pee on his porch.
That's good. All right. All right.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I'm a vandal at heart. Wheeler's a vandal. I write some graffiti, I scratch it into his rock. I put a tink in his foundation, so in about 5 years' time, the whole bank's gonna come crumbling down.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I don't.
I like it. I like it. So you take off.
Yeah.
After you take off, where are you located? You've moved aside. Are you off the porch? Are you still on the porch? Are you amongst the crowd? Where are the rest of you three?
As this happens, if it's okay with you, I think Nexus is getting like closer and closer and closer to Archie, and she just keeps being like, Mr. Yates hasn't done anything, and is just like very upset. And so I think like Nexus is just kind of like with Archie and kind of like looking at Shiv and Archie and just like back and forth going like, I don't know, what do we, this is so
Blueberry.
Sometimes loitering is the best option, and then you just see Shiv lean against one of the porch pillars and just go like this and just starts tapping his foot because he's like, I have no idea what else I can do at this point.
Fair enough. Mr. Yates steps up and he looks at his suit right now, and he's wiped the blood, but it's still smeared on his face. And he says, listen, y'all. I'm wearing the mayor's blood. We've all bled in some way or another to get here. This is a frontier town. We're all doing the best that we can. We built this town together. We continue to build this town together, and it would be nothing without us. And we can have outsiders come, and he kind of looks at all of you, and tell us how we should be running this town. To tell us what we need to do with our money, how our lawmakers are supposed to run. But frankly, Hell's Bank survives out here because of its people. And I believed enough in this people to invest in you, in us, in this. So for people to come in here and think that they can just say what they want about me, about my friends, about the people in this town, Wedler's not here.
That's why I whisper.
Then that's fine.
He has feelings. Has trucks to the bank.
But we all know. We'll make it through. The mayor will make it through. He'll survive. And we'll get through this together. That's where we're getting the session for today.
Oh my god. Oh. We're never leaving this town.
We are leaving this town. Wheeler's adamant about it now.
Thank you everyone for watching. So fun. Intense role play around the table. Yeah. Make sure that you tune in for your after show. It's going to be a doozy, I think, this next one. Again, you get access to it tonight if you're a patron of RealmSmiths, and Sunday it will be released to the general public so everybody can watch it and enjoy it. And we're going to wait a little bit for Dot's complexion to go back to normal. She's red in the face.
You're literally actually red
in the
now.
face. It's good. I love it. I love these moments. It's awesome. All right, y'all. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.